Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
My ultimate dinner hack for busy weeknights is Catch of the Week. I used to think a great meal meant hours in the kitchen. Not anymore. I grab fresh fish, get simple instructions, and have an incredible dinner on the table in minutes. Their ready-made meals are a lifesaver, too. It's real food, it's fast, and it makes you feel like you've actually got your life together. They're just 5 minutes from Sherwood Park, but worth the drive from anywhere. Stop thinking about dinner and just go to Catch of the Week.
Visit catchoftheweekedmonton.com.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think,
wow, great hair transplant.
I want them to think,
wow, great hair.
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
O'Hanlon Paving is looking for Finnish skid steer operators, Finnish grader operators, Class 1 drivers, and more to join their Edmonton Oilers team.
Out of the goal line once again. Landeskog.
Paving.com/careers.
Way off.
Keep you mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes.
Coast to coast.
Tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment.
There's a fly ball. This one sends Antonacci.
Need it.
Second home run of the season at the Big A.
Tire sale is back. Save up to 25% on quality tire brands, including Continental, Michelin, Motomaster, and Pirelli until May 21st. Conditions apply. Details online.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card.
Get on the board with Ramsey 11th home run. I like that. Good swing.
HughesCarWash.com.
Jason Gregor Show.
The goal line once again. If he hits back to the bumper, one time.
On Sports 1440.
Thompson, Jenkins going coast to coast.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Good swing. That thing, there's a fly ball to left foot. This one sends Antonacci back. Out to the wall. It's gone. Mike Trout finds the front row, and the Angels get on the board with Trout's 11th home run.
What a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. It's always brought to you by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right in the province. Playalberta.ca. We got a few Jason Gregor Show specials for you. Sabres and Canadians, the final series of the second round. They dropped the puck tonight. We got a little NBA for you. The Knicks, they're going to blow them out again. And Ducks and Golden Knights. So you can check it out with some odds boosts, who you think is going to win, who you like, who you don't like, and more at playalberta.ca. I'm Jason Gregor alongside Connor Halley. We have a loaded show for you today. Mike Rupp's going to join us coming up in the first hour. We got Paul Sir talk a little NBA playoffs, Yaremchuk, Cam Tate. Sean Campbell will be by to set up the Habs and the Bruins. I got some great stats for you in stats of the day. We got Spec Ken Bulke out of Vegas. But before we get to all of that, I want to take a moment to talk about an event that I had the honor of emceeing. Did it today. Just actually coming in hot, to be honest. We got here literally right on time, so that was nice. Good. Thanks for whoever's running the green lights. We hit those, so it's excellent. The 13th annual Be Brave Luncheon went today. For those who don't know, Little Warriors it's an unbelievable facility. The Be Brave Ranch. It's really the only one of its kind, not only in Canada, but really arguably in the world. When you look at all of the science and human studies that go into it to help build up and repair kids who are victims of sexual abuse. And I know it's a sports show, but many of you are parents. Had a few listeners come up to me today after emceeing that. Fathers who listen to the show, whose kids have been victims. And it's tough, man. So it's a problem. And if we never discuss it, it's never going to get better. So be diligent. Elizabeth Smart was one of the keynote speakers. Also, this young girl, Luca, who was a graduate of the Be Brave Ranch. And just it's great to see, kids who persevere over things, just horrible trauma that you would never wish on anyone. And Elizabeth had an interesting message that, Cons, what are you supposed to do when there's a fire? Right? What happens if you're on fire? What are you supposed to do?
Stop, drop, and roll.
All right. Now, how many people get caught on fire?
I couldn't give you the exact number. Very minimal, I would say.
So what are you supposed to do when someone tries to rape you? Right? We don't know. It's funny. Everybody knows stop, drop, and roll. But something that's prevalent that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys are victims of. And we never teach it. Everybody knows stop, drop, and roll. Hey, what am I supposed to do? And especially, and I know it's hard to teach kids that, but it's prevalent in our society. And it ruins lives. And you have some survivors. And when you hear the studies, there's somebody I can get, well, not somebody. There are hundreds and thousands of our listeners right now who are victims and survivors of sexual abuse. Some of them have never told anyone because the statistics, lots of kids repress it. You try to block it away. You don't want it to happen. What did I do wrong? Blame yourself. Because 95% of the time, it comes from someone in your household or in your inner circle. So on a Wednesday, the challenge for our audience today, speak up, be diligent, try to be as observant as you can. And most importantly, if some child or teenager or young adult or middle-aged person, when they finally decide to share their story, believe them. It's very powerful. It's the easiest thing you can do. And when you hear these stories, it's always a reminder. Hey, we have a little fun little sandbox that we have here on Sports 1440, and I love it. It's great. It's awesome. But you're all sports fans, but you're also humans. And your moms and dads, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, grandparents, sibling. Maybe you yourself are a survivor. So I just wanted to shout out those who have managed to persevere and push through the pain and the ugliness of those situations. And right now in our society, more than ever, we need more people to stand up and say enough's enough. Why would you ever, like when you hear the details, and that's what I really actually respect about the people. They're not only brave enough to talk about their journey, but they share the intimate details. Because rape and sexual abuse is not pretty. It's ugly, deplorable, vicious, painful, traumatizing. And for people to be able to overcome it is stunning to me. Like that's true strength. And unfortunately, I have many friends. I have a mother who've been victims of sexual abuse, some when they were kids, some as adults, being raped. And maybe more than ever is you hear the men who talk about it. I know we have a lot of guy listeners, and it's really hard for men to talk about it because people get judged way worse. And the last thing I'll say about it, and then we'll move on, is if somebody does talk to you about it, don't ask them if they should have done something different. Because you're putting the blame, well, maybe you should have done this. Maybe you should have screamed and yelled. It's very easy for the person who's never been in that situation to try to tell someone what they would have done. You don't know what you would have done, especially when you're a kid. And because it's ugly. Imagine you're sleeping in bed and your dad or your brother or your uncle or your mom comes into bed and starts doing things that no parent or family member or friend should ever do to a child. What have they ever been taught? They know what to stop, drop, and roll. They don't know how to respond to sexual abuse and rape. And that's why it's something that we need to talk about more. Right? Arm our kids. Now, obviously, it would be better if the perverts who did it punish them more. We talked about it more. That would be first step. But educating those so you maybe have a better fighting chance on how to handle it and what to say and what to do is important. And a big shout out to everybody at the Be Brave Ranch. Man, I love my job. I think it's fantastic. Some days we joke, we get to play sports psychologist for fun. We get to fire people up. We have lots of jokes and lots of fun talking about sports. Those people who work at the Be Brave Ranch to help rebuild kids who are shattered and broken. That is an important job. And one that I can only imagine at times is extremely hard to leave at work. So kudos to all of you and all the professions that are helping people, and in a lot of cases, kids and teenagers and young adults rebuild their life after such a traumatic experience. We should be proud that we have the Little Warriors and Be Brave Ranch in our community, because there's a lot of places that have nothing, not resemble even close to this. So kudos. And again, to any of the survivors listening, I hope you're doing okay. If you haven't told anyone, after listening to the doctors and the survivors today, as hard as it is, you'll feel way better. Find someone you trust. Find someone that'll listen. And they will listen. And hopefully you can start your own journey on the path to recovery. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get into sports. But I'm sorry, there are times when there's much bigger things than sports. And today's one of those days. We'll return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why, guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Increase resistance to stress and support memory enhancement with new Roots Herbals Ashwagandha. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Cheers. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
When life unexpectedly changes, it can leave us feeling unbalanced, uncertain, and unsure of how to move forward. But you don't have to go through it alone. I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. Our team helps reestablish balance, guiding you through your divorce with compassion, clarity, and support. Fairway has helped more than 6,500 families across Canada find a path towards a peaceful, fair resolution. With 2 offices in Edmonton, we're here to make your journey easier. Discover your options at Fairway Divorce.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Take up to 60% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $3.99 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
O'Hanlon Paving is looking for finished skid steer operators, finished grader operators, Class 1 drivers, and more to join their Edmonton road crew team. Bring your positive attitude and great work ethic to their job fair, Friday, May 8th from 10 till 3. Visit O'HanlonPaving.com/careers.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EUL. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at EUL.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. EUL.ca, your partners in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on Wednesday afternoon, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. We always appreciate you joining us. And again, thanks for those who took a few minutes. We're okay with us talking about Little Warriors. It's a fantastic facility, and hopefully someone in your family never has to use it. But if they do, you will be incredibly grateful that it is there. Big day, of course, in sports again. Playoff action last night. The Colorado Avalanche yet to lose. so far in the postseason. 4-0 against the Kings. Now they're up 2-0 on Minnesota. Nathan McKinnon, another 3-point night. The Avs look good. The Wild, they got a few extra days off, and we'll see if they can lick their wounds and get back at it. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Silent Ice Center, and coming this year, Gene Simmons, the man, the myth, the legend. He will be performing live at Silent Ice Center. You want to get your tickets now? Tickets are going fast. It's going to be at silentice.com as Mike Rupp from NHL Network, Stanley Cup winner, joins us once again. Rupper, good afternoon. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, Greg. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm good. I'm great, actually. Lots going on. Inspiring afternoon down at the luncheon, which is always fun. Always when we talk about strength, man. To me, strength is the people that endure sexual abuse and then push forward as survivors. That's unreal stuff. So, speaking of enduring in sports, it's obviously a little bit less serious, but still what we do, and it's a lot of fun. The Minnesota Wild through 2 games. What do you see that they could possibly do to change the direction of this series?
They can get Mac and Jonas Brodin back would certainly help. That's a huge hole in their lineup. Brodin, just as far as slotting appropriately, I think that Jake Middleton, he's had a rough go so far in this series, and that pairing with him and Jared Spurgeon is just not been great. Having him potentially back, we haven't got any news on either. But the hope is that with these 3 days off, that maybe you can get those guys back. Eriksson Ek is such an important factor for this team, offensively and defensively. We know about that. So good on the defensive side of the puck. But also Matt Boldy, that's a little bit of his comfort blanket in some regard, is Eriksson Ek. So I think that's the biggest thing. I like a lot of things and elements of the Minnesota Wild's game. I guess the couple things I don't love, they're still struggling on that penalty kill to get the proper kills or the kills that they need at a certain time. And I didn't love the goalie switch. I'm not saying they would have won that game if Wallstedt would have played, but I think it kind of made a mess for no reason that they kind of are dealing with now. I think you go back with Wallstedt moving forward, but I just think, having those 2 goals on 2 shots and 3 goals on 8 shots last night's game, it was just a tough spot to put Gustafsson in. So, that's most of it. I think that the only scary part for me, I think, is we're starting to see Nathan McKinnon get going a little bit here. We're seeing him getting another 3-point game for him. He was physically a force last night with some of his hits. That's a bit of a concern.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Sometimes when the superstars get rolling, it can be difficult to slow them down, and it is unique. I'm trying to think the last time a series had 3 days off between games. Right? Like, if you're the Avs, you're probably not loving this. Like, I know everybody talks about rest and it's great, but I don't think I've ever seen this. You play on a Tuesday and now you don't play till Saturday. It's wild.
It is. And I wonder if it's like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember all these days starting to bleed together, but I think in order to get them into that game on Sunday for game 1, it was a little bit of a quicker turnaround than maybe they would have liked. So maybe this is the way of kind of giving them a little bit of time. So when you see that too, like, I also wonder, this is just me reading between the lines, but like, I wonder if having those 3 days maybe got Minnesota thinking about those 2 injuries that I mentioned. If that was already a built-in, like, hey, let's not fly and have, risking more swelling and all those different things. Let's just see if when we get back home, can have maybe those guys ready. But also, I wonder if that was an area where they thought Wallstedt could maybe get some extra time in with the goalie coach. Maybe that's an area that was maybe thought upon and addressed because it is such a rare thing. But yeah, you never see that much time off. And if you're the Avs right now, you want to keep playing every other night. But at the end of the day, I think everybody can use a few days off.
Mike Rupp joins us. Rupper, you look at the other series tonight, Montreal and Buffalo. First game of this series. Well, do you see an advantage heading in on either team that's a clear advantage for you?
Not a ton. I mean, if I'm going to pick right off the top, I think Buffalo, I believe, should win this series. Montreal just continually proves me wrong, though. I mean, is this magical story of Jakub Dovish still going to continue this round? I think if there's one thing that I'm really interested in watching is we talk so much about Suzuki, Caulfield getting fully going, and Slavkovsky. I mean, this is one of the best lines in hockey, where they haven't found that in the playoffs. I don't know if it's going to be any easier against Buffalo. I just look at the back end of Buffalo. They've got trees back there. They got big bodies. They've got a different style that I think. I was always concerned a little bit with Montreal. I probably mentioned it to you before as well. Just I wonder because their best players aren't overly big. So is that going to be difficult for them to find their offense? We'll see how that goes, but there's quite an advantage as far as the size of Buffalo's D compared to even the size of the D for Montreal. So, that's the biggest thing for me. I want to watch to see how Montreal responds.
Okay. I look at that defensive core in Buffalo, man. I really like it. I do agree with you on the size of the Canadians. The Philadelphia Flyers, I know they lost in overtime, Rupp, but man, they had better chances. Couturier had a breakaway. Konechny had a breakaway. They had a power play in overtime. Like, that game was right there. I know they scored 2 goals in 41 seconds, and that's unlikely to happen again. But I actually quite liked Philly's game in game 2.
Oh yeah, I did too. How about basically all of overtime before the goal ends up getting scored for Carolina? Like, it was all over them. I mean, that was the best team probably in the playoffs in overtime there. So they've had their moments. Like, at the end of the day, this is kind of where I chalk it up. And this doesn't mean they're dead, they're toast. I mean, I do think Carolina wins the series. I just think they have a lot of really good players, and they have a lot of potential in some of these young players to really pop long term. But like, this is where you get into situations where you're going against an elite team that doesn't give you much. Star power matters. Like, having a superstar matters. Like, when you get that one shot, that one grade A from that one area of the ice, or that one breakaway, like you mentioned, doesn't mean that goal scorer, the high end guy, is going to score every single time. But like, that's what I think they're missing. Even the power play. Like, the power play was 32nd in the NHL in the regular season. I've thought they've done an admirable job as far as maybe getting a couple looks, using that bumper spot to relieve some of the pressure of Carolina and the quick puck movement. I mean, it's easier said than done, but it's a 3 quick puck movements and then a grade A. Like, that's what you're going to see or face if you're Carolina. If you can process the pressure, quick puck movement, 3 passes, you'll get a grade A. And they've had a couple of them, but they just haven't had the guys to finish in those moments. So I don't care that they're 32nd overall in the regular season. They just need that timely power play goal. I know they did get the one on kind of a broken play last game, but to me, that's where it's at. I mean, we looked. It's interesting digging through some numbers on Carolina. But Carolina is when you have power play success. This some people might be like, "Hey, thanks, Captain Obvious." But when you have power play success against them in the playoffs, that's where they lose. That's where they've lost against the Rangers. That's where they've lost against the Florida Panthers. And I'm not saying like an absurd amount of power play success, but that's the only way you beat them. Yeah. Like, they're going to be very good 5-on-5. They're going to have better margins 5-on-5. You've got to have production on the power play. I gotta look for Philly to get some of those done.
Mike Rupp joins us here, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. And then you have Vegas taking on Anaheim. Anaheim game 1 kind of looks similar to Edmonton game 1. Anaheim had some chances. They couldn't finish. I don't care. Like, that's a botch call. That's icing all day long. That's an icing call. It went to Vegas's favor, but Vegas didn't play their best game at all, and they won. And that, to me, is always a concern for the team who lost, because I'm guessing Vegas is going to play better. Yeah,
you would definitely expect that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That game, I was really impressed with some aspects of that game from Anaheim. I thought they started really well. They had some looks. I mean, they had some looks where we know that they got to shoot the puck more, and when they get in those areas, that Jackson Lacombe kind of play is going to be haunting them for a long time. But I think that the big thing for me with them is we're never going to misconstrue Anaheim as being a good defensive team. But it almost goes to the same thing I just spoke about with the power play. Just in the pivotal moments of a game where you need a play to be made, like they got puck watching last game. I mean, the Marner pass backdoor to Houghton was a world-class pass by a world-class player. But he also had a bunch of eyeballs all on Mitch Marner and not kind of picking up that late drive to the net by Houghton. I think it's that one. And even on that play where maybe they thought there was icing. I don't know if they stopped playing for a moment, but same thing, puck focused. You didn't have your eyes and kind of looking around, head on a swivel, and then that's a Barbashev kind of gets open there. So, those moments you just can't have. It's almost equivalent to me for like a goaltender that just make the saves at the right time of the game. Like those are the big moments. And just using that kind of as an example, like they lack that as far as their puck watching. They got to defend right at the right time. But I did like their effort last game.
What did you make of the draft lottery? It's funny, people are like, oh, it's rigged. I'm like, we watched it live. Like, what do you think? They just put the same all one number ball in each one. But Toronto wins the draft lottery. San Jose moves up to number 2. This was the whole point of the lottery, that it doesn't guarantee the worst team to get the top pick. Now Vancouver gets number 3, and I'm far from a draft specialist. I used to follow it very closely for a decade because the Oilers were always picking in the top 7. But now that they don't even have a first rounder forever, I wouldn't say I put as much stock. Like I read guys like Stephen Ellis and others who do it. But what do you make of it? Like, it's funny because when Bedard got drafted, I thought, unfortunately for him, unfairly, everybody claimed, oh, this guy's like, he's Connor versus Connor. Like it was kind of stupid to be bluntly honest. And I look at this year's draft class, like Connor Bedard in his draft class, like he's a hell of a player. Don't get me wrong, but Leo Carlson's pretty damn good player too, right? So I don't know if there's like a clear cut number 1. It's going to be interesting to see what they do at 1 and how that trickles down to San Jose and Vancouver, etc.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, it's the one thing I think that we've learned, and I think when you mentioned Connor Bedard, it's a great example, and I'm going to agree. I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not a draft guru by any stretch, but from what I have seen and what I've kind of have heard talking around is that there is a little bit of an immaturity in the game with Gavin McKenna, kind of similar to what Connor Bedard, like, and it took a little bit of time, and he's really done a lot. Last offseason, I think, was huge for him, and he had a fantastic year this past season in Chicago. But if it is Gavin McKenna, like, I don't think it's automatic that he's going to come in and just be impactful from the get-go. I think there's a learning process. I think we saw that this year going to Penn State. He didn't stay in the WHL. Like, he goes to Penn State, and he was great the second half, but there's some growing pains, and that's okay. So, no, I would have to assume it's going to be McKenna as far as one with the Leafs. It gets really interesting for me with San Jose. Like, San Jose, I know Mike Greer said, I don't believe GMs half the time when they speak publicly because they're coached, so they're not going to give anybody anything, especially about the draft. But he's like, oh, yeah, we're going to look at best player available. I think they're looking for a defenseman, and they need a defenseman. They need a number of defensemen for San Jose to take that next step. They don't need any more forwards. So I'm very curious if this is a shoppable number 2 pick. If they can find their their defenseman, maybe they have all right, we want this guy, he's going to fall between 5 and 8. Do they look to trade back, maybe get another piece? I mean, hell, you can go to the New York Rangers and say, hey, we'll give you 2 for 5, give us Braden Snyder, and then next year's, whatever first round pick or second round pick or whatever it is. I think there's some movement that could happen there at 2. But then again, they could go and just pick who. I guess Toronto doesn't. But I think that's the big interesting one for me. I think there's going to be lots of teams reaching out trying to get a gauge on what San Jose wants to do.
Yeah, it will be kind of wild. San Jose said he was open to trading his pick at 9, and well, now the price goes up. We hear this every year. I always chuckle, and I'm like, do you know how many times we see high draft picks being traded? Like, it ain't very often. So, if it happens, great. I'm not necessarily going to fall for it. I want to get your thoughts on GM searches in Vancouver and Nashville. We're now into May 6th. How quickly do you think they've done a lot of interviews? What do you think they're waiting for?
Yeah, well, I especially think Nashville. Like, we've heard kind of some names around Nashville, and at least from kind of the insiders, names that have been ruled out, names that are still in, and the conversations had. I don't really know what the wait is for. Maybe internally they do know. They just want to keep everybody kind of waiting on this, or don't care to make it public. I don't know what the situation is there. It seems like, for one, they've known this direction for quite some time, that I was kind of surprised it's not done yet. The Vancouver one is interesting to me. I mean, here's some of the names out there, and that one it's a unique spot, just because there's a lot of turnover there, I think. And then we obviously got the news with Jim Rutherford is maybe more of an advisor role for whoever's coming in. Like, there's a lot of moving parts there, so. That one I can actually understand, maybe taking even a little bit longer, but the Nashville one I thought would be done by now.
Yeah, it's a little surprising to me, to say the least. What would you do now that you've had a few days? What would you do if you're the Oilers? Are you making significant changes, coaching, management, play? What do you think their plan is this offseason?
Ooh, yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know. I think the one thing that I liked that I heard as far as, first and foremost, I don't know if I spoke to you since, kind of Leon and Connor spoke. I thought both of them were fantastic in their whatever you want to call them, media scrums or pressers kind of to end the season. Just as far as, like, even just admitting that they weren't good enough defensively, that
yes.
Slipped for them. I think that's bang on, because it did. You know what I mean? Like, it certainly did. I mean, we heard, whether you like that or you thought there's something to it or not. Remember last season, I think it was Elliot Friedman kind of got out in rotation that Leon Selke vote. And that wasn't the case this year. It should not have been the case this year. And, Connor has shown signs of defending at times, but there's been plenty of times in the playoffs too where that slipped, and I love that they own that. And it wasn't like, hey, us as a team, we got to defend better. Like, they said, we've let that slip. So they're taking that, hopefully, to heart and change. So that's a big thing, because I think the worst thing for this team is how collectively as a group they kind of just stop defending. Now, does that mean they have to change over and get some more personnel in there? I mean, I don't think it would hurt in some regards, but you kind of talked about it before. I do like some of the moves they made this year. Can they get those guys re-signed? And I think a new mindset can go a long way. I have no idea about the coach as far as Chris Knobloch, where they're at with that. But I certainly think the back end and some complementary specialty players would be very welcomed. Like penalty killers, guys who do strictly that even. I think that there's a need for that. And so, yeah, I don't know. The biggest thing for me, though, is just the acknowledgement that they all have slipped in the defensive area, and hopefully this team can rebound just from the psyche and what they need to do.
Rupper, have a good Wednesday. We will chat with you on the rundown on Friday.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Talk to you.
There you go, buddy. That is Mike Rupp from NHL Network. The off season for the Oilers. It's interesting. We've had a real mixed bag, but I haven't really asked a very direct question. So very direct. What realistic? Because that's the key. What realistic moves would you consider for the Edmonton Oilers this offseason, and why? 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We'll get to those. We'll talk some NBA playoffs and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Cantork has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
Build stamina and relieve fatigue with new Roots Herbals Energy, a well-balanced formula with D-ribose, astragalus, and ginseng. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Novo Blinds is your home ice advantage for window coverings. Edmonton's own custom manufacturer with over 300 five-star reviews from homeowners, builders, and commercial contractors. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5 plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Everybody loves a beautiful day in Edmonton. Hey, it's Jamie, and Green Drop Lawn Care is giving you one more reason to love the nice weather. Next Nice Day service. People always ask, how soon can Green Drop get here? Well, when you sign up with Next Nice Day service, we'll be there by tomorrow. Assuming Mother Nature cooperates, we'll be fertilizing and treating your weeds by the very next day. We'll even include drought fighter at no additional cost. Just another reason we have been Canada's lawn expert since 1979. Easy online signups only at greendrop.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Everyone, welcome back. Wednesday afternoon, the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Lottery, live dealer, casino, sports, instance, all in one shop. Check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. And while you're there, check out the Jason Gregor Show daily specials. I'll always give you a few better odds. Good luck. Got a few correct last night, which is always nice. Tonight, we got NHL playoffs. We also have the NBA playoffs continuing on. And to get to our basketball report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC or furnace. Check it out. LegacyHeating.ca. The host of Hoop City, Paul Sir, every Saturday morning, 10 o'clock on Sports 1440 joins us now. Paul, how you doing?
Doing great, Jason. How are you?
I am. I'm good. Real good. I want to get your thoughts, first of all, on the Timberwolves, their game one strategy against the Spurs. And do you think it's repeatable?
That's going to be really interesting because tonight, of course, we'll tell the story. But the fact that they became very physical with Wemby and they pushed him out further from the basket, making it almost impossible for him to catch in the low block and go to work and try to score. And he seemed genuinely rattled. I don't think that's going to continue. Is it repeatable? Yeah, some of it is. Like, they can make his life a lot tougher in the low block when you can throw Rudy Gobert at him and also then follow up with Randall, who's a beast. So you're laying a lot of lumber on Wembanyama and really making the game physical. And with the kind of help defense they have, Jason, it makes it hard for Wemby to put it on the floor as well. Now, I don't think Wemby will hurry his 3-point shots like he did the other night when he was 0 for 8. But he certainly, I think, will be better on the offensive end. I don't know how much better you could be on the defensive end, blocking 12 shots, although Chris Finch says 8 of them were goaltends. But that's going to be interesting to see if there's any merit to that and if the officials watch it with a little more scrutiny instead of being in awe like all of us were. So I don't know if it's certainly they're going to try to do more to get Wemby better shots. Mm-hmm. But the thing about the Wolves that they're going to try to beat you up, and they're pretty good at it. Just ask Denver. And so they're going to try to make it a rock fight.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Meanwhile, the Knicks, man, they've been blowing everybody out. Like, are the Knicks this good, or were the 76ers just lethargic?
Probably both. When you come off a Game 7, I forget what the statistics are exactly, but Game 7 winners lose about 75% of Game 1s in the next series. So when you have a rested team like the Knicks were, with an extra 2 days off, they were ready to go. Plus, they're riding a tidal wave of offense right now. And if anybody wants to see the difference between a Tom Thibodeau coach team and a Mike Brown coach team, you think under Tibbs they'd score the way they've been scoring and run the way they've run? I don't think so. So right now, the Knicks are on a high. Now, we have a little history here, and that's Boston. They went into Boston, 76ers went into Boston, got beat soundly, then turned around and stole Game 2. That's going to even be harder tonight because Embiid is going to be out. They're going to rest him. And it seems like the logic is they're going to battle tonight, see if they can play them closer, have a shot at winning, but kind of put their eggs in one basket to get Embiid back, hopefully, for Game 3 and try to steal a couple in Philadelphia and even the series up.
Last night, the Lakers, it was close for a while, and the Thunder ended up beating them by 18 on a night. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander only had 18 points. He took 15 shots. He made 53% of them, and then he was 2 for 3 from free throws. So man, if you're the Lakers, you're like, hey, we kept Shai to only 18 points, but they still lost, right? Now I know they're banged up, and so it's probably not realistic to think. But what do you think of their strategy, and how do you think OKC is going to adapt in Game 2?
I think we got a lot of that answer last night in the way they adapted as the Lakers rolled their game plan out at them. They doubled Gilgeous-Alexander all the time, got the ball out of his hands, made other players score. And in the case of Holmgren, he had an outstanding night with 24. I think you saw the versatility of the Thunder. I am curious, though, to see how patient SGA is going to be. SGA, 18 points isn't something that he usually plays in. That's not his sandbox. So I'm curious to see if he tries to be a little more aggressively offensively. But that's unfortunately for Lakers what you would call a moral victory that doesn't really matter. If you hold them, if you only lose by 18, you still lose. And I'm afraid it's going to be it's going to be a tough road ahead. If the Lakers can sneak one out of this, I think in terms of moral victories, that would be a huge one.
When I look at the 76ers, the Detroit Pistons and the Cavaliers, the Pistons, they basically kind of sleptwalked through the first few games of the play. And even in game 6, my goodness, that was more of a magic. That might have been the worst loss in professional sports. They blew that game. It's unbelievable how they just
unbelievable
after break. Yeah. But Detroit did look better in the opening game. Like the Pistons haven't found their stride yet over where they were all season long. Do you think they can, or are they just, this is kind of who they are now, a little inconsistent?
Well, I think both points are true, Jason. This is who they are. They're inexperienced in the playoff realm. So you've now got to adapt to multi-games against the same team. That's a whole new world for a team that 2 years ago was so far out of the playoffs. I mean, you could never imagine 2 years later they would be in the position that they're in. So they have to get better. And against Cleveland, they did get better. They were more consistent. They really bothered the guards from the Cavaliers, and they bothered the bigs as well. They made the Cavaliers very, very uncomfortable. And having said that, I think the game was still tied at 93s when Harden melted down. I think between Harden and Mitchell, I believe it was 8 assists and 9 turnovers. That's not the ratio you want. Harden looked awful. He looked like the playoff James Harden that a lot of people fear. But on Cleveland's side, the fact that they're close, but that Detroit's playing better isn't a formula Cleveland can be happy with or content with. They're going to have to find a different gear and a different way to get into the middle of that very physical Detroit defense. And that is a big, big challenge, a much different challenge than they had against the Raptors, who did a great job, took them to 7 games. I think that, Cleveland really does have its work cut out for them because their back line makes it awfully tough on Mobley and Allen as well. So this is going to be interesting. It really comes down to your initial point, Jason. How consistent and how much better can Detroit become? Because clearly it looks like physically I'm not going to say they're the better team, but they're certainly the more physical team and seem to have the mindset to really impose their will on the Cavaliers.
Paul Sir joins us, host of Hoop City. What do you make of the Raptors? They lose in 7. Ingram's banged up. They obviously had a great buzzer beater in Game 6. Is this kind of the what you expected from them? Good effort, but not good enough?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Good effort, not quite good enough. They're not good enough. Jamal Shed is a really good point guard who's getting better, but you really don't want him as your starting point guard. Is he a Kyle Lowry-like player? Not yet. He could be, but he's going to have to develop a lot of different things in his game in the offseason to ever be considered as what I think to be an elite starting point guard. Quickly and Ingram, it's a dog's breakfast there in terms of who's going to get hurt when. And unfortunately, neither of them were ready for the playoffs. Ingram was, but he wasn't ready mentally and was terrible until the game he got hurt in. And he was just not as bad in that game. But they really need his scoring. They need Quickly back. I'm not sold on this lineup with Ingram and with Quickly back if they're healthy. Hurdle was C- D in how he played. Barnes was phenomenal. I think we saw a lot more out of R.J. Barrett. Murray Boyles, what a nice player acquisition he is. They've got good pieces, but I think the Raptors are going to have to do some work in the offseason because if they roll the dice with this lineup, we know we're going to have an injury-prone lineup with some players that really, it was a big step forward this year. How much better they are than 46 wins in the future, I don't know. I really don't know, but it's not the kind of lineup you look at and go, if everybody was healthy, they would have beat the Cavs.
Yeah, fair point. What's coming up on the show this weekend?
We have Pat Boylan, who is the play-by-play voice of the Indiana Pacers and the Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark and her newly constructed lineup as they tip off on Saturday. So Pat's going to come on, talk about the Indiana Fever, about the WNBA and the season that's finally here, so we can get past all the soap opera gossip of the last 6 months and hopefully just get down to playing basketball. And then Ben Golliver will join me again. Ben, we'll go into the weeds about all the NBA stuff. We'll do our community champions segment. We'll talk about the Edmonton Stingers, who also kick off their CEBL season on Saturday afternoon at 1:30 over at Hall D in the Expo Center.
Awesome stuff, Paul. Appreciate your time. Have a great day.
You too, Jason. Thanks so much.
There you go. That's Paul Sir, host of Hoop City. You can listen to it every Saturday at 10 a.m. here on Sports 1440. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Got a lot of texts flying in on what would you do if for the Edmonton Oilers realistically, and we ask for realistic ones. Not going to read the non-realistic ones. We got some trade proposals that I'm like, come on. You're not getting a top line player for a fourth line player. Okay. So we'll just pass on those guys. It's simple for me. Cassian, knob lockout. Cassie's proven track record of having a team and its superstars committing to play 200 feet while empowering the bottom half of its roster with goalies that are less than elite. Gregor, realistic doesn't happen too often, but what it would take to trade for a coach like John Cooper, Bob, nothing. Coaches don't get traded, and Tampa Bay wisely already said that John Cooper is not going anywhere anytime soon, unless John Cooper decides he wants a change. And I have heard nothing in regards to that. So we'll see. Hey, Greggs, I heard you mention Stenel as the right center. What about in net? Honestly, I've looked at the free agent goalies, and the list is not. If you're a believer that the Oilers could help themselves with free agents, not overly enticing. Here's the list of free agent goalies currently. Now, some of them might get signed. I'll start with the guy who I think is going to get signed, Daniil Tarasov from Florida. Young goalie. Well, yeah, he's not young, but he's 27. I think he'll get signed. So that leaves Sergei Bobrovsky, Peter Mrazek, Freddie Anderson, Stuart Skinner, Cam Talbot, Connor Ingram, Vitek Vanacek, David Rittich, and Calvin Pickard. So I don't think Skinner and Pickard are coming back. So I guess we'll start there. So Connor Ingram would be one. Is Vanacek clearly better? Is David Rittich clearly better? Cam Talbot at this age? No. Like Freddie Anderson, sure, but I don't think he's leaving Carolina, right? So Sergei Bobrovsky is going to cost you a lot. So I honestly, the best route for a goalie is either going to be a trade or you re-sign Ingram. Now, the other option, I think there's some goalies who are younger who would be waiver eligible. Now, last year there was a few, DiPietro, others that they didn't put in a claim in. You're the Edmonton Oilers. Matt Tompkins is what he is. He's an American League goalie. He's not a number 3 who has potential to help you in the NHL next season. They're going to have some young guys probably in Bakersfield. I'm thinking Unger is a guy they'd have there. I don't know if they're going to have Unger and Johnson. Will probably try to, but then where's Tompkins going to play? But either way, those guys got to combine 14 American League games. Are those guys, if you get a goalie injury, are they ready? So you need a number 3. In today's world, you need a number 3. I would probably look for someone else who's going to give me more strength. Now, the problem with that is if you claim someone on waivers, then you got to keep them on your roster. And then you're going to have to put somebody else on waivers. So it's a real challenge. Unless you could have a guy who's cleared waivers and then acquire him like they did Connor Ingram last year, right? Because then he was acquired, he was already in the minors. Now, Boston, maybe if DiPietro gets put on waivers again, he might ask for a trade. I could see it. Doesn't mean it will get answered, but I could see it happening. And they've got a few guys there. Buffalo's another team to look at. So that's probably the direction for Edmonton. I don't see, I know people are talking about, hey, Montembeault, I don't know. Could he bounce back? Possibly. But if you don't, if you're going to make that trade, then you got to do that trade, I believe, at the draft. So you have your goalie coach to work with him in the summertime. Right? Why would you wait and do that? So now the guy's worked on some things, whatever, and maybe it's not the things that your goalie coach thinks he should work on. Now he comes to your team, it's during the season, and it's really hard to change things during the year for a goalie. It doesn't happen very often. You kind of manage what you have, and then you look in the offseason and say, okay, we can work on some things, which is why I think Tristan Jarry, Pete Aubry, they're going to work together a lot this offseason. Jarry lives here. Aubry's here. You got the facility. It's top notch, right? You can be on the ice as much as you want, doing all sorts of things off the ice, on the ice. That's a good situation. Connor Ingram, could re-sign him. Aubry knows his game. They work together. I know it's not exciting. I know it's not riveting. I know it's not, oh my God, there's a white knight goalie coming in to save things. I'm just not sure that's realistic, to be honest. So that's kind of how I see it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We'll come back. We got lots more texts coming in. Some good suggestions on what you would do. You think the Oilers will do this offseason. Now, your Remchuk will be by. We got some stats of the day that I think you're going to like to chew on and more. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca as we get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. They say they're on the road together. They mean it. From tires, wheels, and oil changes to automotive repairs, they do it all. Visit fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
2 games tonight in the NHL's Stanley Cup playoffs at 5 o'clock. Sabres and Canadians from Buffalo game 1. Then at 7:30, the Golden Knights looking to take a 2-0 series lead over the Ducks. Off the ice, Canadians captain Nick Suzuki, Avs forward Brock Nelson, and Tampa Bay Lightning center Anthony Cirelli remain finalists for the Frank J. Selke Trophy, which is presented annually to the forward who best excels in the defensive aspects of the game. In the association tonight, 2 games, Knicks and Sixers at 5. New York leads that series 1 game to none, and the Timberwolves will try to take a 2-0 series lead over the Spurs at 7:30. Major League Baseball, Jays in action earlier today. They fell to the Rays 3-0. You also the Brewers over the Cards 6-2, and the Dodgers beating up on the Astros 12-2. Right now, Mariners lead the Braves 1-0 in the 4th. White Sox trail the Angels 5-1, and the Giants and Padres tied at 1 apiece. Later on tonight, you got the Athletics and Phillies, Red Sox, Tigers, Nationals host the Twins, Yankees get the Rangers, and the Reds head to Chicago to take on the Cubs. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Tyler Yaremchuk of Oilers Nation and hear the latest edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way.
Calgary rules. But when it comes to the best snack for 3-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
A lot of you love hockey season. But when it comes to construction season, you're not as excited unless you work for GS Construction. It's true. As one season is winding down, ours is winding up with all sorts of great projects to make the city we live in better. And our team is hiring. GS Construction is scouting for pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. So if you want to score a great job, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Looking for a solid 4x4 that checks all the boxes? The 2026 Jeep Compass is in stock now at St. Albert Dodge, and this is a great value, starting from just $36,900. It's a Jeep, so you've got 4x4 capability, plus features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen.
How are you? And welcome.
Active lane management, a park view rear backup camera, and more. Over 30 in stock right now in just about every color you'd want. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
A huge thank you for making Sports 1440 the most listened to sports radio station in Edmonton. From Gregor to Darius to Low Tide, we've got in-depth analysis on all your favorite sports. We are Sports 1440.
Hold on to your hockey helmets, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 69-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadian and Coors Light for $5.75. Plus, OTR's TVs are so clear, you'll see the puck better than the ref.
That ain't hard, is it?
Score and win every game night during Edmonton's playoff run with specials starting 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocks.yeg.com.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. They may be teeny tiny, but chinch bugs can completely devastate your lawn or garden. If you have yellowing grass that doesn't improve with watering, you may already have them. At Green Drop, we'll identify them, treat them, and help you recover from the damage before it's out of control. Stop chinch bugs cold with Green Drop Lawn Care, Canada's lawn expert since 1979. Find out more and get started at greendrop.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's after 3 o'clock. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you on a Wednesday afternoon. Hope you're having a lovely day. Weather's going to heat up, all you golfers. Oh, you're enjoying it, aren't you? I like it. Really good. I do have a very obscure question that we're going to get to in a second. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province. PlayAlberta.ca and Joel Embiid out of the lineup for the 76ers tonight. You might want to check on the Jason Gregor Show daily special involving that Knicks game over the 76ers because the chances of the Knicks winning just increased a little bit, I would say, with Joel Embiid being out. It's quite the number that we'll get to on Joel Embiid as somebody like the best ability is availability. And for him, that has been a serious problem. How about he's played 490 games and he's missed 400 and tonight will be 79. It's almost identical. He's basically playing half the time. And that's the challenge when you draft. Like, teams want big men, but like David Robinson's and, even Shaq, like the big men who last and are durable, like it's rare, man. It's pretty rare. Oh, Rudy Gobert now, he's never been a huge scorer, but he's come pretty good, right? 4-time defensive player of the year. And that's why, you hope in Wemby's case, it's not a problem. Now he's a little bit lighter, so maybe that'll play a factor. But man, you see a lot of the big men and it's not their ability that's lacking. It's just their body breaks down, right? Odin is a recent case of a high draft pick. So I could see how some teams might be a little gun shy from some big men. Because when Embiid's on the court, he's dynamic. But I'm trying to think of a player that had similar, where you're talking over that many games, like he's been around for 1,000 games and he's missed half. Like, I know Bobby Orr's career was cut short, but he played and then he got injured. Right? It wasn't like he would play 40 games, miss 40 games, play 40 games, miss 40 games. It wasn't like that. Is there an NHL player who's been that banged up that frequently? I don't think so. I know that basketball is very different, right? Like the pounding on running on the court is different than skating. Right? So I get that. But even in football, can you guys think of a player who's basically been injured for half of his games? And it's not like he retired. I'm not talking somebody who had an injury and then they had to end their career short. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who's been in the NBA this long, and it's kind of because he got drafted in 2014, right? So he's been around for 12 years? And it's just half a year. Basically, that's what the numbers are. And actually, no, he got drafted in 14. I don't think he came over till 16 or 17. Right? Is that right, Cons? 16 or 17, I think it was. So he's played 10. This is his 10th year. And that's where he's at right now. It's unbelievable.
I was just looking into it. Ryan Murray.
Oh, good. Good one. Good one. Yeah. Yeah, and a high pick, right? He was a second overall pick, Mike?
Yeah, second overall after Yakupov. Just for the people, my number 4 was off, so people on the internet didn't hear me. Ryan Murray, I said.
Oh, okay.
Just let them know. But because he played 82 games once, but then it was 66, 12, 60, 44, 56, 27, 48, 37, 13.
Yeah. That is. So he played for. So if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was parts of 7 years. His last year was kind of split in Edmonton. He played 13 games, only 2 in Bakersfield. He was a healthy scratch lots of those games. But yeah, that's a good one. Now he's not a superstar player, but he was a high draft pick, second overall. And injuries just cut his career short. He just couldn't stay healthy. It's crazy. And then you got other guys. Then you got guys like Brent Burns, right? Which is absolutely wild to me. How healthy he has been, because it's not like Brent Burns started out healthy. His first year, he missed 10 games, then 5, then he missed 23, then he missed 35 games, then he missed 2, and he missed 1, then he missed 18, then he missed 13, and that year he missed 13. He came back halfway through that year, and then he hasn't missed a game since. He didn't even miss a game in COVID, which was hard for guys. Just because if you caught it, you couldn't play. Weren't even injured. So that's pretty impressive for him. For a guy who think of if you look at his first few years in the NHL, people thought, oh, geez, man, this guy's a little injury prone. 10, 5, 22, 23, 35 games. Then he missed 18 again, 13, and you're thinking, oh, geez. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, I'd love to talk to Brent. Maybe it's just bad luck. But I wonder, did he change anything? Or was it just bad luck? I don't know, because that is, A, it's an unbelievable streak that he's on, and B, it's quite the turnaround from being injured to not being injured. So, hey, Greggs, what about Jamie and Alexiak and Vinny Desharnais from Perplexed Oiler Fan? Well, if I'm San Jose, I don't see how I'm not re-signing Vinny Desharnais. They got no defenseman. He's not going to cost you that much. You know him. The guys, they love him in San Jose, just like they love him in Edmonton. He's a really good dude in the room, knows his role. He's a penalty killer. He's a defensive defenseman. If he's in your third pair that big, you know exactly what you're getting. Now, Jamie and Alexiak, I got a lot of time for. Now, if you're bringing in Alexiak, you're shipping somebody out, right? You're shipping out somebody on your left D. Now, he's a free agent. He's 33, so if I'm signing him, I don't want to go much longer than 3 years, to be honest. But he is a big dude. Big body. Now, there's another guy he was in and out of the lineup due to injuries early in his career and a little bit of a healthy scratch. But since going to Seattle, he's been pretty healthy. He missed 4 games. That's all he's missed the last 3 years is 4 games. 11 the last 4 years. So it's pretty good. He's big, physical, but again, if you're signing him, that means you've traded. Well, I would assume you mean you're trading Nurse. I don't think they're trading Ekholm, and probably not moving on from Wallman at this point. So that's it, because you're not going to bring in Alexiak if you have those 3. It just doesn't make sense. He's not necessarily a guy to play the right side. I think I'd take Connor Murphy anyway. I think Alexiak might be a guy who's gonna go cha-ching on free agency day, just because there's a shortage of free agents, and there'll be some teams looking for big defensemen. Just how you go. So, hey guys, what do you think the chances the Oilers have of getting Parayko? I'd say slim to none. We got to remember, he turned down a trade at the deadline. Now, they might revisit it, and who knows, maybe coming home would be it. But again, now, if you're trading Parayko, you're moving out a defenseman. And of course, I would trade Parayko for Nurse. It's not even a question. But would St. Louis do it? Edmonton would have to add something to that, right? Parayko's a guy who made the Olympic team, for goodness sakes. I like Parayko. I have lots of time for Parayko. Lots of time. Hey, Greg's Mario Lemieux. Yeah, Mario, a little bit different, I guess, because of the cancer, right? Like wasn't an injury per se. It was just health reasons. But yes, he played 915 games. He sat out like multiple years. Like if we go look, I bet you his numbers, Cons, if we added up for Mario, just because of the seasons he missed where he didn't play any games at all. And then he kept battling and coming back, which was pretty inspiring for him, because he missed 3 full seasons. So right there's 82 games. Done. And he had seasons where he missed 20, 21 games. Then in 91, he missed 54 games. And then he missed 16. And another year he missed 60. And yeah, I bet you if we add it all up, I don't know if it'd be even because he played 915, but it might be close. Because, yeah, the 1 year he only played 10 games and 3. Yeah, geez, maybe we'll do the math. It might be close. That's a good one. It's too bad for Mara because, God, he was good. Oh, is he really good? Very, very, very good. So that's a lot of games missed, unfortunately. So, hey, Greg's, what about Crosby? Well, Crosby really hasn't missed many games, right? If you go back, he missed now his third year in the NHL, he got banged up, but that wasn't the concussion. He had what did he miss? 29 games, I think it was. And then he missed half of the year of 2010-11. Then he missed 60 games. And then the following year, he missed 12. And since then, he missed in the 20 season, I think he missed about 29 games in 2020. And then he missed like 12. Last year, he missed 14. So a little bit, but it was early. It was that stretch really from 11 to 13 where he missed 41, 60, and 12. So he missed 113 games. And during that time, he played, I think it was 99. So obviously he missed more than he played. Unfortunate for him. But that was just that 3-year stretch. And then thankfully they figured it out, the whiplash and everything, the concussions, his neck injury that was causing more of a problem than the actual concussion itself. His neck muscles were just so balled up that once he got that fixed, then he went like 80, 77, 80, 75, 82, 79. Then he had the year where in the COVID season. Now, he missed some of those games due to COVID. But then he also got banged up that year. Only played 41 of the Penn's 69 games, so missed 28. And then he missed 1 game of the 56-game season, only missed 1. And since then, the last 5 years of his career, he has missed 26 games. So like 5 games a year, not crazy amount. Especially a guy in his later 30s. You kind of think when you get in the later 30s, like you're going to have a little mix up here or there. And, unfortunately for him, he missed some games this year due to the Olympics, getting injured there more than being injured in the regular season. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Cam Neely would be another one. Good one. Hey, Gregor, are you surprised with Taylor Hall? And does that give Oiler fans hope that Connor McDavid could stay at an elite level for longer? Well, yeah. Am I surprised by Taylor Hall? Yeah, maybe a little bit. Not shocked by it. Like, Hall's a really good player. Right? You're a Hart Trophy winning player. You're a pretty good player. And, he found kind of some happiness and continuity in Colorado. He really likes his line mates. They're obviously clicking, him and the 2 youngsters, Stankoven and Blake. I guess I wouldn't maybe be surprised at the production. I'm surprised about just how physical he's been. Like, he's delivered some huge hits so far in the playoffs. Like, not just rubbing guys out, like rocking guys. So that part definitely surprises me for sure for him. So, as for, does that give order? Like, does anybody not believe that Connor McDavid at 34 years of age is going to be good? Like, why wouldn't he be good? I guess that'd be my question. Like, why wouldn't he be good? So, and Hall's Hall's a very good player, but he's not like elite like McDavid is. I have no qualms that when Connor McDavid's 34, he's going to be a 110-point player, maybe 120. Right? Heck, could be 125. I don't know, but yeah, I don't have much concerns that he's going to fall off a cliff anytime soon for him. I think like the guy's highly dedicated. He's committed. He's obviously in great shape, and he's got a pretty high pain threshold. Played through a fractured, so yeah, I wouldn't have much problem with it at all. So yeah, we got a lot of texts. Yes, we mentioned Bobby Orr. The difference was Bobby Orr, his career ended, right? Until he got hurt, Bobby Orr was pretty healthy, which sucked, right? His second season, he missed some games, but back then they had like 60, 76 games, 78 game seasons. When they won the cups, he was playing every game. I may be missing one or two, but then unfortunately he got injured at the end of the 1975 season. Well, it just was kind of starting to build up. And then the next year he played 10 games, and the next year he played 20. And then he was pretty much done, which is unfortunate. So yeah, injuries ended his career. We were talking about guys who, like Joel Embiid, he's basically played as many games as he's missed. He's been in the league 10 years. So, or the years that Orr was in the league from 67 to 77, he didn't miss half the games. I'd have to go back and count the exact number, but he might have missed maybe 20% until the last 2 years. Those 2 years, then he obviously was battling it and kept trying to come back. And you know what? Bobby Orr was unfortunate that we didn't have the technology in how to rebuild knees and repair tendons like they do now. If Bobby Orr has that knee injury, instead of it happening in 1976, if that happens in 2006, even 96, he's healed way better and his career isn't over. So that's another advantage that today's players have that I think sometimes gets overlooked when you talk about longevity and everything else. Like, you're able to get back playing and producing quicker and stronger than ever before. Go look at the surgery. Like, look at the knees. And I'm sure there's listeners out there, depending on your age. You had knee surgery, man. Like, you got a massive scar. And the rehab process was completely different. It was way more intrusive than it is now, which is great. Like, that's awesome for athletes. You're a fan. You want the best players back on the floor. Cons, what about football? Is there anybody in football that you can think of?
For a while, Keenan Allen would have been there. He had a couple bad knee injuries. I'm not sure if there's anyone on a consistent basis. It feels like with football, it piles up and then teams just kind of move on from you. They're like, oh, you're 28 and you've missed the majority of 2 seasons. We don't need you anymore. We'll find someone younger that can slide in and do the job.
Yeah, fair.
So I've kind of had a hard time finding one for football. But yeah, there's some good ones out there that have been texted in here. Would you put Taylor Hall in that category?
We looked up Hall, and he's missed 15 games here or there, but it's not close to 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Early on in his career, he missed some games. And then, the year he got traded. So, what did he play? 65 games out of the 68 in the COVID season. Then the next year he played 53 out of 56. Then he played 81. Then he missed 20 games. Now, he did get the one injury in 2010 or 24 where he missed basically the whole year. I think he played 10 games. So last year he played 77 games. This year he played 80 games. So he had a little stretch, but he's going to play game 1,000 next year. He needs 11 games to get to 1,000. So good for him.
Let me give you Bob Sanders from the NFL. Defensive Player of the Year when healthy.
Oh.
Only problem was he played 14 games, 15 games. The rest was 6-4, 6-2, 1-2.
Yeah, because NFL careers aren't as long.
No,
for the
exactly.
most part. So, yeah, he had 2 great years and then boom, injured. Sucks. Like injuries, man. And I always remind parents, because I've read up the stats on the number one thing that limits players who have aspirations to go professional is injuries. And Not only that you get injured, because sometimes you don't recover from it physically, but a lot of times it's mental. Like, it's really hard for some players to get to injure and then recover and then regain their confidence to think they can be the player that they were, especially when you're talking like, teenagers, right? You have a severe ACL injury, you lose a full year of development for some of those players. And that's hard to catch up on for some. It's just like that stat doesn't lie. It sucks. It's the ultimate equalizer, unfortunately. Quick break. We'll return. Your Remchuk joins us next. It's Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Island Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Increase resistance to stress and support memory enhancement with new Roots Herbals Ashwagandha. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label.
This summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit ProSolutionsInc.ca to schedule your service today.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Canadian Tire's Big Spring Tire Sale is back. Save up to 25% on quality tire brands including Continental, Michelin, Motomaster, and Pirelli until May 21st. Conditions apply. Details online.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the puck drop special at Papa John's. A large 2-topping pizza and 8-piece wings for only $28.99 with promo code PuckDrop at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
327. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. We do have a question. I'm curious. This is like a strategic question to a game that I think some of you play, maybe a lot of you play. I have no idea how many of you play it, but we'll find out in our next segment. And I'll be curious because I got into a funny conversation about it last night, and I'm curious because they're like, "Well, you ask." I'm like, "Oh, I'll ask," and we'll see what the masses think on the strategy of this. So it's coming up. But first, let's get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Not only do they provide you with great vehicles, they provide you with lots of finances giving back to their community. Over $27 million they have donated to local charities or reinvested in their communities where they work. It's goauto.ca. That is awesome. As we welcome in from Oilersnation and Daily Faceoff, Tyler Yaremchuk joins us. Ty, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Greg. Sunshine and feeling good.
You have you practiced your strategy? I know I talked to you a while back, and now that golf season is here, I know you've thought a lot about how you're going to approach to try to get a hole in one. Do you have in your head, have you set a goal of how many swings you want to do?
Yeah, so I think one of the big mistakes last year I did during the stream when I shot like almost 2,500 golf balls is I was lining up 10 in a row and hitting them all really quick because I thought I was like, I'm going to attack this thing with numbers. If I get a whole bunch of them on the green, one's eventually got to go in. That ruined my body very fast. So I think the approach this year is 2 at a time. I just tee up 2 balls. I hit one. I make a little adjustment. I hit the other one. Then I take a break. I take a minute. I walk off the tee box and then I realign myself, hit 2 more. I spend, this isn't even like a joke or an on-air bit. I spend so much of my time thinking about that hole in one. I cannot wait to do it again.
When are you doing it?
July 13th, right back at Cattail Crossing. I can't wait.
Oh, geez. And on the same hole?
Same hole. I played Cattail yesterday, went to that hole, was golfing with my wife. I said, Amber, you need to record this because if I get a hole in one, there needs to be some amount of proof and people won't think I'm lying. I also didn't want to hit it yesterday. I want to save it for the big event on July 13th.
Have you changed your mindset? Because to be honest, last year you felt like, well, hole in one will be easy.
I know it's going to be very difficult. I now know how much more difficult it is than I think. But the other side of it is like we're blowing it up. We're going to have beer gardens this year and we're going to make it a whole big event. You guys should come out. But my fear now, and you're going to say I'm an idiot and I'm too cocky, but I'm like, what if we do like months of planning and we make it a big event and I hit it at like 8:30 in the morning? Then what do we do?
Well, then you have a competition with other people to see if they get a hole in one. Come on over and try it.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Well, there you go. The Edmonton Oilers, what would be the hole in one equivalent for the Oilers this offseason?
I think the hole in one equivalent. I mean, listen, there's a part of me that wants to say like go out there and finding a superstar goalie would be the hole in one equivalent for the Oilers. Like, is there a way that a Saros or someone like that shakes loose? But I don't know, much like me last year thinking I could get the hole in one, I think that's just a touch too optimistic for the Oilers. I'm really not sure if one of those guys is going to shake loose. So I'll be a bit more realistic and I'll say go find a young top 6 winger in their 20s. And listen, I would love if they could do, and I think the type of deal they almost have to look at considering their cap constraints and the lack of assets that they have. Can you find the next Trevor Zegras deal, right? A young player who had fallen out of favor with their organization, who clearly just needed a fresh start somewhere. That cost them Ryan Poehling a second and a fourth. He was only making $5.75 million this year. Like, that's the kind of move that financially and asset-wise the Oilers could do. And if it works, kind of like how the Vasily Podkolzin deal worked on a different level, then boom, you have a young player in their 20s who you can probably get extended for relatively cheap, and they're a valuable part of your team for, I think fans hope Podkolzin can be here for a decade. So I would love to see them find that kind of player, but I recognize it's easier said than done. Zegras trades and deals like that, they don't happen every offseason. So it's definitely a little pie in the sky, hole in one dreaming. But if you could find a way to add a quality young player in their 20s to your top 6, I also think as much as people talk about how you need to win in the playoffs to show Connor and Leon and, specifically Connor, that he should extend here because this is his best chance at winning a cup. I think surrounding this forward group and showing Connor that, hey, as Zach Hyman and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins age out, there's another wave coming. We'll have another young player in Podkolzin and Savoy and Howard. These guys will be here to help you as you go into your mid-30s.
Yeah, that's a key. There's no question about it. You know, the emergence of Podkolzin is big. You throw in Matt Savoy. You know, they obviously would like, they're going to need to find a defenseman to do that. That's, well, although Bouchard isn't that old, what am I saying? Bouchard's still pretty young overall, realistically. So, you know, they could use another one, though, for sure. When you look at the ages of Nurse and Murphy and Ekholm and Wallman, they definitely would need another young D-man. I'm intrigued by Howard. You know, it'd be a lot to say, can he replace Jack Roslovic? That would be a lot, honestly. 20 goals isn't that easy to get, right? And the thing is, like, there, you know, it was floated about, and, you know, Chris Knobloch talked that he'd thought about trying, you know, Draisaitl, McDavid, and I'd love to have the conversation with Chris over like the strategy behind it. I'm going to guess that they would look at, well, look how they played down the stretch. Granted, small sample size of 14 games without Leon Draisaitl, and how the other lines played. And so if you come back and you put Draisaitl with McDavid, you know, that line kind of plays one way and the other lines play a little bit different way. In theory, okay, I can get to it. I'm still not sure if I'm sold on it, but I could kind of say, okay, maybe I'll try it. But the only way that works is you got to sign Dickinson. Because if you don't get Dickinson, there's like, unless you're going to pay for Charlie Coyle, which is probably going to cost you way more, like there's no other center. You can't do that unless you have two other centers on your team. You just can't.
Yeah, I agree with you. And honestly, I'm not really that big of a fan of it, because I just still think that the Oilers' biggest superpower is being able to have two of the game's 5 best forwards on separate lines and saying, hey, you can put your best shutdown pairing and your best centerman or whatever you want to do. You can put them on one of them and the other one's getting a good matchup. Whether we are at home or we are on the road, you basically don't need to worry about the matchup game, because there's going to be either 29 or 97 who's getting a solid mismatch. So I'm not a big fan of them playing together for long stretches. I think I've said this analogy before. It's like a pitcher with a great curveball, right? If you want to put Connor and Leon together every once in a while, you do it. If you do nothing but throw curveballs, ask Jays fans how Brendan Little looks. Like, all he had was his curveball, and eventually he gets figured out and he gets smoked. So I think they need to keep them apart. And that's, again, why I just come back to like finding a good quality winger. And the other thing I'll add, even if both of them are going to be apart and that's the plan, I still really value bringing Jason Dickinson back. I think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' days as a top line winger, a top 6 winger, they're probably gone. I think he can do the pinch hit duties and slide up in case of injuries and all of that stuff. But I really like the idea of building out a shutdown line that's based around Dickinson and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I think that can be really valuable in terms of taking away tough matchups, tough zone starts from the top 6. Like, it can have ripple effects throughout your lineup. So to kind of answer it all, I want Connor and Leon apart. I think that's when the Oilers are at their best. And regardless, I think Jason Dickinson should be very high on the priority list this summer. Yeah.
Dickinson for sure. I think Murphy, like I'm much more confident that the Oilers will sign Murphy. Not that I don't think I know Edmonton wants to sign Dickinson. Jason Dickinson's 3 years younger. And not that there's tons of depth on the D market, but age does matter. And I think Murphy really liked it here and, wants to be back. Not that Dickinson didn't, but Jason Dickinson's never had $40 million in his pocket like Connor Murphy has. So I wonder, does he look and say, yeah, I really like Edmonton, but if Edmonton could sign him before July 1st, I think that would be pretty good work, because if I'm him, I could understand why he would try a Brett Kulak. Walk into free agency, look around the room, see what's out there, and then make your decision, right? Like, I can understand when a player says, well, I kind of owe it to myself just to see. It doesn't mean I disrespect the organization. And Oiler fans weren't mad at Brett Kulak when he did it. They weren't mad at all. They signed him like, okay, good. He looked, found, away you go. It's like when they gave Evander Kane, Ken Holland said, here you go. Go look. Now, totally different scenario. And guess what? He came back to sign. But I think in Dickinson's case, there would be offers. Kane didn't really give any offers. But Dickinson, there would be offers, and then he'd have to make a decision.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of what they did with Evander Kane that summer, where it was like, hey, here is our best. If you owe it to yourself to go look. And they gave him permission. I think it was like 3-4 days before. Maybe it was less than that, but they gave him permission to go look around before July 1st. If I'm the Oilers, I do that with all these guys. I say, Connor Murphy, here's our best offer. Jason Dickinson, here's our best offer. 72 hours before free agency, call their agent, say, go ahead, shop around. But we need to know by July 1, because where the Oilers have made their mistakes in the last few years have been in the post-July, or like once July 1 comes, when they hit free agency. So I really don't want to see the Oilers scramble and get there to July 1st and just throw $4 million at someone because they're scared of missing out on everybody. I'd much rather see them going with a plan. And I think part of that, involves knowing is Jason Dickinson coming back? Kasperi Kapanen, I think, is a guy in that boat who, like, I'm sure he'd love to cash in on a big payday. Give him your best offer. Let him go walk, see what else is out there. Say, hey, we need an answer by midnight on June 30th or whatever. But the thing with Dickinson is interesting because you're right. Just like in the avails, it sounded like he was maybe saying, like, I need to go see what's out there. And, you know, if he wants to be on a contender, there's contenders out there who have money who'd probably be willing to offer him something pretty good. So again, hesitant on, or I guess I'm maybe more nervous that Dickinson will be back just because I think there could be a pretty decent market for a guy like that.
Yes, I would agree with you on that one. When you look at like Kapanen, he's another guy I think the Oilers should bring back. And I think they're probably in a good situation because he doesn't have the statistics to match a big number. All it takes is one team. I get it. But, you know, he really gave the impression to me that he'd like to be back in Edmonton. He said, hey, how important the city is. His son was born here. He really likes it here. And he mentioned numerous times that I hope this wasn't my last game as an Edmonton Oiler, which, you know, tells me that, you know, with a fair offer. And I look at the number of cap and I look at his stats. I'm like, he's probably around 2 to 2.4, somewhere in that range is what it gets on a 2-3 year deal.
Yeah, and where, again, like you said, it only takes one team. Let's say the Oilers, you know, let's say they offered him 3 by 2.5 and said, we're going to guarantee you $7.5 million. And some young team, because again, there's not that many good free agents out there. Like if a good young team says, you know what, we think you're a top 9 guy and we're San Jose or whoever, and we don't really care about giving you another $1 million because we got to get to the floor and we got to spend. And that team says, how does 2 by 3.5 sound? And all of a sudden that's where a guy like Kapanen probably has a decision where it's like, oh, $7.5 million total over 3 years or $7 million over 2, then I can sign again as the cap goes up. So again, like that's just the tough part with free agency is all it takes is, like you said, one of these teams to really value one of these guys and poof, you're outbid. Because again, $16.8 million in cap space for the Oilers. That sounds really nice to hear until you start going like, okay, a goalie, and if you bring back Murphy and you bring back maybe one of Dickinson or Kapanen, and it's like, oh, that's 16.8 withers away pretty quick.
Yes. What do you think the offseason, where do you come out on significant changes? Do you see any? Do you think they tweak? What, you know, management, coaching staff, players, what do you think happens?
So again, I kind of like did some rough back of the napkin math on if they were to bring back all these key UFAs we talked about. And it kind of boils down to like, okay, if you do all this, you probably have somewhere from like $4 to $5 million left over to spend. Well, that's not enough to do something significant. You need to clear out cap space. And the tough part here, and I wrote about it today over on Oilers Nation, is like there's almost like this paradox of like, if you're going to get rid of Jari, it's probably going to cost you an asset. If you're going to get rid of Darnell Nurse, it might cost you an asset. And if, you know, maybe you throw Frederick in there. I don't really include Frederick in there as a guy you're going to be able to like attach an asset to and move off. But like, they don't have a lot of assets. So if you attach assets to get rid of a Jari or a Nurse, then when it comes time to go and use that cap space, you're not going to use it on free agency because if Alex Tuch resigns in Buffalo, there's no one really that flashy out there on the market. So if you spend assets to get rid of cap space, then you just aren't going to have assets to use the cap space and go upgrade the team. So then it's like, well, then why'd you spend the assets to get rid of the cap space if now you don't have assets to make trades? Like if you kind of get what I'm saying, they're in a bit of a bind here where maybe they need to try like some form of the Lucic for Neil swap where it's like, hey, we're going to move on from Tristan Jari and we're going to take on a bloated third line center contract who's $5 million. And that's going to be the way we spin this deal so that we can sign Connor Ingram and revamp our goaltending to some extent. But like, it's just really hard to envision a scenario where they can free up the cap space to go get a Jordan Kyrou or whatever big name winger you want to throw out there that's been in the rumor mill over the last year. Like to go get one of those guys, you need to offload money. And if you're offloading money, you're probably using assets to do it. And then what are you trading St. Louis for a Jordan Kyrou, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Kyrou, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a name. I don't know if I love him either, but
yeah. Well, the interesting one is St. Louis did try to trade Colton Parayko and he said, no, thank you. And so the fact that they were willing to do it once, now does Colton Parayko say, you know what? I'm in the summer. It's not going to disrupt me moving everything. Now, maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he loves St. Louis, doesn't want to move. But when a team tries to do it once and then the player has to it gets public that he waived his no trade clause. Like to me, that's St. Louis trying to force him out because there's no, like there's lots of discussions teams have with the guy. Hey, no, I don't want to be moved. All right. Well, the discussion ends. The fact that you had the whole trade facilitated I think they felt like if we leak this out, now the pressure's on him. He's gonna bow down to it, and he didn't. And so now I think that's just, to me, that's the start of a fractured relationship.
I agree. And I mean, hey, if you're the Oilers here, if we're going to try apply this to Edmonton, you need to try move on from Darnell Nurse this summer. If you think you maybe have a deal for Colton Parayko lined up at $6.5 million, are you incentivized to retain $2.75 million on Darnell Nurse and say, hey, if we're going to, like, dead money sucks, but we'd rather have Colton Parayko than Darnell Nurse? Can you call around? Like, if Buffalo clearly wanted to get a big veteran D-man, could you call them and say, hey, we're keeping money on Darnell Nurse. Are you interested? Ottawa's reportedly looking for a big blue liner, a veteran blue liner. And Dave Pagnotta was on our show the other day and said, hey, Edmonton called Toronto at the deadline and said, what do you think about Darnell Nurse? And they had some discussion there before Nick Waugh was traded.
Yeah, that whole trade made no sense to me. Because there's no, you're not trading away Darnell Nurse for a third line center when they were looking at Dickinson anyway. So yeah, that one made no sense to me because you had to get back a defenseman. They didn't have. You think you're going to go in the playoffs with Spencer Stastny in your regular? Like, I don't think so.
Yeah, and maybe there were other dominoes, but anyways, for the Oilers, like, if you can bring in a defenseman who you think is better than Darnell Nurse, are you incentivized to, maybe retain a little bit on him? And Darnell Nurse, I know he still has the full no move clause or no trade clause this summer, but next summer it's a 10-team trade list. So if you go to him this July 1st and say, hey, next summer it's 10, can you give us your 5 right now? Do you want to play close to home in Ontario? Would you go to a Buffalo, a Detroit, an Ottawa, something like that? Like, I don't know. Again, it starts with trying to offload money for the Oilers. And again, to tie the assets thing in, you probably need to be quite creative in how you try to get out of these contracts because it won't be as simple. You don't have the first round picks to just be like, text every GM in the league and say, hey, we're attaching a first round pick to Darnell Nurse. Who wants him? Like, you can't do that.
No. Always good to talk to you, Ty. Good luck planning your strategy. You got 2 months. Don't overthink it. Enjoy.
Sounds good. Thanks, Greg.
All right, that's Ty Ramchuk from Oilersnation and Daily Face Off. We will return. Man, the texts keep coming in hot and heavy. I love it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We'll get to Tater. We got some stats of the day that I think you're going to be interested to listen to. And I think we might have found a winner for the NHL's version of an injured player. It's coming up on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Oodle Noodle Origins.
In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle. You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
What's that? Is that actually spring? Like no snow squalls or bad weather tomorrow? It's actually spring? Well, GS Construction welcomes the warmer weather because that means we can really get to work. Now, it doesn't matter if there was bad weather. This is our time to shine. But we can't do it without good people to do that work. That's why GS Construction is hiring pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. If you want to join a team who loves their work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit JapaEquipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Build stamina and relieve fatigue with new Roots Herbals Energy, a well-balanced formula with D-ribose, astragalus, and ginseng. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$350, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Hope you are having a lovely Wednesday. And remember, Wednesday, your opportunity to get to the OG lotteries. Lotto 649, $40 million. And the classic jackpot of $5 million. Good luck tonight. PlayAlberta.ca. Also, nobody won the Lotto Max last night. So, lots of opportunities on Friday. Lots of opportunities. So, touch on that. We got a lot of texts to get to. Man, it's been a busy, a lot of good questions, a lot of good responses. Hey, guys, Parayko's from Northern Alberta. No point in crying spilled milk, but strange that Edmonton scouting department would have missed someone like that. Does seem to explain the Oilers' problem since a decade of darkness, and even now, from David. Yeah, well, fair, right? He's not from, well, he's from St. Albert, right? He did play up in Fort McMurray. And yes, he was the Oilers in their own backyard. You'd think, hey, that's a guy you want. Now, he was a real late developer, never played AAA hockey. Then he went to the AJHL. First year in Fort McMurray was like a young guy. And then it's his second year in Fort Mac. He got drafted out of junior because he had a big growth spurt there. And then he had another growth spurt when he went to the University of Alaska Fairbanks. And he's a great story of being a late developer. And, Colton Parayko is one of those players, like, he loves the game of hockey, but it's not his life. Like, I remember when he was, he's in with the Blues, and the veteran players were talking, like, here's Colton Parayko. They're in the Stanley Cup playoffs in the finals. and he's taking courses to finish his degree. And he was like, yeah, man, it was great. It took my mind off hockey. And it makes, for some guys, they'd be like, no, I want to eat, breathe, live it. For him, he's like, no, I want to take my mind off it. He felt like it was good. He was studying. Other guys were sleeping on the plane. He was doing his homework, which is doing assignments. And you know what? Hey, everybody's different. That worked for him, for sure. And hey, I think Colton Parayko would be a great fit for Edmonton. I've always been a big fan of Parayko. Now he's a right shot. So, if you're getting Parayko, are you getting Murphy too? Right? Well, I guess you could. You could have Parayko, Murphy, and Bouchard. Then I guess maybe Ty Emberson's out, but hey, you're upgrading your right side. It's pretty deep. But obviously you'd have to move. Some of the Oilers don't have the cap space. You're going to have to move someone to make that deal. But I've always said it. If Colton Parayko is available, and clearly he's available, it's just a matter of, is he willing to go to the team who wants to acquire him? But things change in the offseason. Like now he's home, right? Like your life isn't disrupted as much. That's why players get to know moving clause. I don't hold it against them. Teams don't have to give him out, but they do for a situation like that. It doesn't mean he can never be traded. He just gets to have a say in when and where he's traded. And that's what they want. Let's get to Cam Tate and 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. Furnace AC breakdown late at night. You need a fix? Call them. Come over. No OT. LegacyHeating.ca. Here is Cam Tate.
We've turned the NHL bench into a game of musical chairs, and folks, the music is stopping way too fast. The average coach gets about 700 days. That's not a tenure. That's a layover. Research shows the magic number is 3 years. Think of it like a new pair of skates. Year 1, they blister your heels. Year 2, you're finally breaking them in. By year 3, you're flying. When teams panic and fire a guy in 24 months, they're just resetting the clock on mediocrity. Let's open the ledger on the Oilers bench. Since 2016, we've cycled through 5 head coaches. Todd McClellan gave us 266 regular season games with a .508 winning percentage, essentially a coin flip. Then came Ken Hitchcock's cameo, 62 games at a .484 clip. But look at the shift in the McDavid era maturity. Dave Tippett stabilized the room for 171 games, pushing the winning percentage to .596. But he hit a wall in the spring with a brutal .125 playoff win rate. Jay Woodcroft then accelerated the pace, posting a sterling .643 regular season average over 133 games. Now, enter Chris Knobloch. Since late 2023, he's already commanded 233 regular season games, winning at a .624 clip. But here is the number that keeps the lights on. A .585 playoff winning percentage over 34 high-stakes games. The math is simple. In Edmonton, if you aren't winning at least 62% of your games in the winter, you probably won't be around to see the leaves turn green in the spring. Let's look at the math. 5 coaches in 10 years. That's too much turbulence for a team in a championship window. We've seen the winning percentage climb from a coin flip .508 under McClellan to Chris Knobloch's elite .624. But it's about more than the 135 wins he's banked. With the next 2 seasons defining this era of Oilers hockey, the last thing this roster needs is a 6th voice in the locker room. Knobloch has provided a .585 playoff win rate and, more importantly, stability. In a high-stakes 2-year sprint, you don't change the pilot while the plane is at altitude. Bring him back. It's the only move that adds up. The 2-minute warning. Gregor, Hallie, Kruger. Say, could we hear you perhaps sneeze again? This is Cam Tate, back with Carius in the morning. Sports 1440.
Oh, that's a good chirp, actually. Just subtle, zinger, almost showing no empathy for the nose issues that Deck is having right now. But it did make him laugh, Tater. I will say it made him chuckle. The best part is when I always look at Connor, because Connor tries not to laugh when Tater's chirp, even though he knows it's good. Declan laughs, and then Con's over there. So the guy, remember, everybody has that one buddy, right? Like they turn around, they're like, oh, he can't see me laughing. Meanwhile, his shoulders are heaving up and down. What are you doing? Nothing. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't know I'm laughing. My shoulders are going up and down. It's a classic. Anyway, I want to get to this question. Do you or Declan, do either one of you, do you do Wordle?
Declan, yeah, Brando, they're huge into it.
So you don't?
No, not anymore. I've grown out of it.
Okay, so Deck, get your mic on here because I want to talk. I know a lot of our listeners. I'm curious. I'd be curious what the percentages of people who do Wordle. Right, it's an easy, it's a free game. You can get it. It's online. Right on. I don't know if it's through the. It's New York Times now. The Athletics all in one. But anyway, you play Wordle. It's pretty simple. Go to Wordle.com. You can see it right there. You can play it every day. It's a pretty simple game. There's 5 letters, and you got 6 tries to guess the word. Right. It's kind of like Hangman in a way, right? But you obviously got to fill out the word. So my question is, Deck, do you use the same word to start every time?
Yeah, so I don't even use the same word. I have a strategy. I have 5 words I use, and then based on the perms and cons of how the yellows and greens work out, you can get it like 99% of the time by the 6th word. So I don't even have it. So I do have the same starting word, but I have 5 words I use that'll always get me there on the 6th.
So if you put in the word train and you get like yellow T, a yellow R, and a green N, your next guess, does it include the T and the R automatically, or do you just guess other letters?
Well, do you want the words? Because you play
the same 5 words.
Yeah.
So your goal is just to get it in 6.
Well, the goal is to get it. So yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather get it in 6 than not get it at all. Getting it in 2 is fun and all, but let's be serious. It's about hanging banners.
Well, see, that's the debate we're having. That was the question. It's like, so what's your first word?
So it's favor, whack, slimy, podge, and brunt.
Why would you, FAVOR?
Yeah.
Why would you use that as your first word?
Well, like you could use any of those 5 conceivably, but that's the one that has the V in it. So it's like you'll know if there's a V or not, because obviously V is a pretty uncommon letter. Now it doesn't have Z, it doesn't have Q, X, J, but you can just tell.
This is a terrible strategy.
No, it works.
Yeah, like, hey, I want to use the letter that has like one of the least amount of words used, so then I know it's not one of those words.
Well, you could use like podge or slimy or brunt or whack first, but this is batting like Babe Ruth times 3.
This is like the opposite of Wheel of Fortune. Right? Wheel of Fortune, you're using the letters that are used most often, right? Like train, TRAIN. You're going to get 2 vowels. You got TRN. Those letters are used a lot in words, which is fine if your strategy is getting it. But so you're just going, okay, whatever letters I have yellow, I don't really care green. Your next level can be a totally different word that doesn't have any of those letters in it?
Correct.
Okay. See, now that's because I've done that sometimes. If I go with train and I don't see anything, then I have a few other words or change it that day that has nothing. Because I'm like, man, I can't relate. I hate words that end in N. I don't know why. It just annoys me. So I'll sometimes throw in, but only once, where I will make a guess that I know isn't right, but I think it's going to open up other opportunities. But I don't do it more than once.
Yeah, I do it 4 times in a row.
4 times in a row.
Well, 5, I guess, plus the first.
Wow. I'm curious people's Wordle strategy. Is it about, like, because do you keep track of, like, everybody knows your success rate, but you do get more, like, if you get it in 2 or 3. Right? Like it does actually give you more points that way if you signed up. So there is a benefit to doing it. It's a little bit, but you just go as long as I get it in 6.
See, this point system is news to me.
Yeah, but you got to sign up and have membership.
Okay, if I
not points, but you get badges.
Okay, if I'd known that, I might have gone about it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But not knowing that, I just do it that way.
Okay, so because I just pulled it up now as we're speaking, and I'd be curious, like your success rate, then most of your words are done in 5 and 6.
I'm batting like 1,000, like 999.
Yeah, well, who isn't? Like, honest question.
So
who isn't? That was my other question. Like, is anybody below 98%?
Connor, I mean, where do you come out on this?
No,
you know me.
I never found Wordle to be a particularly challenging game, like pass fail. I got to the point where if I was getting it in 5 or 6, I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Like, I kind of feel like, no offense, anybody can get it in 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think and see if I can get it earlier.
To your point, I've been accused of cheating. Like, people have come to me and said, this strategy I have is cheating. Like, you're not staying true to the game. So I get where you're coming from.
I don't mind that. You're not cheating. There's no rule. There's no Wordle doesn't say you can pick whatever word you want. Like, you want to use a loser word like favor, knock your socks off. I don't have a problem with it.
What's your word, Gregor?
Train.
Drain.
Yeah. And then sometimes I'll use deuce because it has multiple different vowels. So I try to get the vowels sometimes, but and the other thing is like, now I've tried a few different words, but I've never got it in one, which annoys me. And so I know now I'm just playing the odds. If I use train every time, eventually it'll come through. But that could be in like 15 years. That's the problem.
One time, this was during last year's playoff run, just to put a bow on this. I used Oiler as my first word.
Euler?
Yeah.
Did it work?
No, but I got it in 2, and the word was idiom. I took a picture of it with my phone and everything, like a real boomer. I was pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, okay. I've had a few deuces for sure. I've never had the grand slam, which is get it in 1. So we got a lot of texts coming in. Hey guys, audio is the best word to use. Oh, not bad.
I liked ocean.
Oh, ocean. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, audio, you are wasting because there's how many words have 4 vowels in it, right? So ocean, yeah, I don't mind ocean. Not bad. Hey guys, I have to say Declan's strategy is terrible. Favor. He puts hashtag. That is an odd first word to me. Well, what? Well, it has the V in it, so I'm getting rid of the V. Well, why don't you just pick a word that has like Z in it? Like fuzzy. Why don't you use fuzzy? F-U-Z-Z-Y. You're getting rid of the F and the U, which is the least common vowel, the Z and the Y.
Well, but double Z's is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
Come on.
But I'm just saying, now you're getting rid of it, so you know it's gone.
I think V shows up more than Z. That's why you go favor.
Yeah, but I think it shows up way less than like
an E.
BDNLPRST.
Where it goes into.
Yeah. So, hey guys, I use a new word every time. Bold. You ever get it first though? That probably increases your odds of getting it first. Maybe, I have no idea. Somebody out there is a better statistician than me. But so at the end of the day, though, most people are saying if you just want to waste a guess with none of the letters that were previously shown, there's nothing wrong with that. That I would agree with. But I do think if you get it in 5 or 6, you win. But it's like I don't know. It's like I'd say that it's like getting an RBI on a sacrifice. It counts as an RBI. It's not a hit. That's how I'd use it. Yeah, I got it in 6. I'm not sure it's that impressive. That's just me, though. Now, sometimes it is hard. You get a few of those words and you're like, what? And it's just got you rattled. So I like it. Do you ever play Connections? No, we'll end. Either one of you play Connections?
Love Connections.
I like Connections, except the purple, like so stupid. But it is like you really have, it trains your brain to think different. You got to try to, what's the connection to the start of the words? Like, God, it's frustrating, but it's fun. It's a good little brain teaser. I do it every night. It's kind of like a way to calm down. So then I hit the wrapper, but I like Connections. Wordle, still looking for it. Hey guys, I've got the first word right 6 times. What? Good for you. 6 times? You play the lottery? You should get your tickets at playalberta.ca. You're getting Wordle right 6 times on one guess? God, never got it once. Brutal. Yeah, getting in 5 or 6 is like kissing your sister. I'll take your word for it, Darcy. I will take your word for that. Can't comment on it. Let's take a break. We'll get to the con man and the sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. For professional property services you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance at hiregood.ca. Stable jobs create stable lives.
The Sports 1440 update.
2 games tonight on the ice in the Stanley Cup playoffs at 5 o'clock. Sabres and Habs, game 1 from Buffalo. Then at 7:30, the Ducks trying to even up their series with the Golden Knights. Off the ice, Canadiens captain Nick Suzuki, Abs forward Brock Nelson, and Tampa Bay Lightning center Anthony Cirelli named finalists for the Frank J. Selke Trophy, which is presented annually to the forward who best excels in defensive aspects of the game. In the association, 2 games this evening. The Knicks trying to take a 2-0 series lead over the Sixers at 5. Then at 7:30, the Spurs will try to even up their series with the Timberwolves. Major League Baseball today, the Jays fell to the Rays 3-0. You also have the Brewers over the Cards 6-2. Dodgers beating up on the Astros 12-2. And the Giants falling at home to the Padres by a score of 5-1. Right now, Angels up in the White Sox 7-1, and the Braves in Seattle trail the Mariners 2-0. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions and get to the stat of the day. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440. Radio station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies. The Way Too Good and Green Gains.
Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor, Hallie.
And refreshing menu options.
Come back,
with some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains booster mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go.
Booster Juice. Canadian
And
born.
Instagram,
Funding
we
since
do have a question.
1999.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when
Connor
it's
Hallie,
about
Sports
looking your absolute
14,
best, there's only one name you need.
CA.
Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Increase resistance to stress and support memory enhancement with new Roots Herbals Ashwagandha. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5 plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
O'Hanlon Paving is looking for finished skid steer operators, finished grader operators, Class 1 drivers, and more to join their Edmonton road crew team. Bring your positive attitude and great work ethic to their job fair, Friday, May 8th from 10 till 3. Visit o'hanlonpaving.com/careers.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. It's Wing Wednesday with 69-cent wings, drink specials, and karaoke starting at 9. Jasper Ave 118th or online at ontherocksYEG.com.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through Wednesday afternoon. Happy hump day. It's almost over. And then you're on the, well, I guess at noon was like halfway through the week. So you're already on the good side coming down the mountain. Here we go. Wednesday night. Wing Wednesday, maybe. Check it out, OTR. A lot of good wings there. Then, of course, we got Thursday, which it's basically like the weekend, especially if you're under 30. I would hope you still treat Thursdays kind of like the weekend. You got to live. You got to live. Live it up when you can. I'll tell you that. Because as you get older, you'll miss those days. I can tell you there was never once where I'm like, I regret having the fun I had. Never. No chance. And at the same time, I don't feel like I missed out. I'm like, oh God, you know what? Now I got to go do something. I'm like, no, I had a pretty good run. It was fun. So now it's different. You know, now you're playing Wordle. Good times. Puzzling. I have to say, I got my son into it. Now I had to buy him a puzzle that would relate to him. So it's like one of those big Zambonis with all the NHL logos on it. And man, he was locked into that thing last night. Like it's a little bit addicting. You start to get it. So it's good. So anything to less screen time, more thinking time is the strategy. So get him into puzzling is, start with a 500 piecer. Not bad. Doing pretty well. Then the thousands that are smaller, they can be a little challenging. Right? Like I know for me, I have to take a little break. Every Serenity now, walk away from the puzzle. Happens. So, Cons, you're not there. You're not at the puzzle.
Oh, I am.
Are you in a
You
puzzle?
know what? Last Christmas, I asked for puzzles for Christmas.
Ooh.
And you know what? I did one. I didn't like what it did to me, though. Like, I stayed up a little too late. I was getting a little, frustrated because it was the ocean. So it was like,
oh, yeah, it's tough.
50 blue pieces,
Yeah,
the exact
it's a tough
same.
one. Yeah.
And, I have 3 or 4 puzzles I haven't opened yet. So I might
dude,
get back into it.
Yeah, don't let one puzzle. Like anybody can quit.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was real, I don't know. It gave me some anxiety from this for whatever reason. But yeah, one of them is a Chargers one. So like you said, you find one you're interested in, and maybe I'll get back into it. Your little guy, doesn't get too.
Well, this is his first one. This is his first one, and I literally had to say, okay, buddy, it's time to go to bed.
Okay.
So that was a good sign, right? And then this morning he wanted puzzle while he was eating breakfast. So yeah, he's already addicted, which is great. It's good now. It has to do. I'm sure if I get him sports puzzles, I don't know. Like I'm doing one right now that is just like this. I don't know. There's like an outdoor pond and people skating on, and it's all white, so that's rattling. And then there's the sky and some buildings on it. So it's been a good challenge. I like it, but I'm not sure he's there yet. But he's only 12. Like I'm pretty sure I was doing serious puzzles at 12. But I do like it. It's a fun time.
It's tough to sit down and not fiddle with a puzzle if it's there.
Oh yeah, like you walk by it, you just walk by, get a piece or two, right?
Exactly.
Like automatically. All right. So it's fun though. But that is you know what? Now I'm puzzling, whereas before I was out all the time. But it's a good change of pace. Although I will admit, I do miss. There's just something about going out on the rocks, man. Like God, I don't think I'll ever get too old to do that. I don't do it as frequent, but when I do, God, I still love it. Fun times. You're intermittently, you're talking to people, you're having a few laughs. Oh, it's a good time. Good time. I don't know. I'm very excited that I hear that the younger generation, because for a while there was no nightclubs. Man, that's some of the best times. I don't care if you're a good dancer or a bad dancer. It was a great way to meet people, have some fun, blow off some steam. And the dance clubs are starting to come back a little bit, I hear. So that's good. Man, you're missing out. If you're in your 20s and you're not dancing, what the hell are you doing? Honestly, what are you doing? Trust me. You'll like it. And it's an easy way. You can have a little fun, show a little personality. Probably get a few digits that way too. Much easier. So, hey guys, have you played Map Tap? Kind of similar to Wordle, but it's geography. It gives you 5 cities around the world. You have to pick where they're on the globe. The only issue is the globe doesn't have any borders. It's a challenge. No, I have not played that. Which would probably be good for me because I think I'm okay in geography, but I'm not great. I am not super hey, sometimes you get countries mixed up in which continent. Not all, some. So I could probably benefit from that. If there was one thing I'd want to improve on, it was my geography. That's totally fair. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, speaking of geography, Gregor, do you think that matters for free agents? Well, yeah, of course. 100%, Steve. And do you think the Oilers will get free agents coming at a cheaper price this year? You have McDavid and Draisaitl, and I'll tell you right now, there is nothing that says players can't talk to other players. It's allowed. If I'm Connor McDavid and I hear management is interested in certain players, damn rights I'm calling them. Why wouldn't I? I'm the captain of the team. I want to win. Players are allowed to talk to players. Bump into each other. Oh, you going to the cottage? You're on the shoe swap, so maybe I'll take a boat ride. Damn rights I'd be doing it. Why wouldn't you? You're just going to be honest, hey, this is kind of the culture thing, whatever. And if I'm a player, And I hear from the player directly about how things are. It'd probably pique my interest. And make no mistake, everybody likes to be wanted. Doesn't matter who you are. You like to be wanted. And if all of a sudden you're getting a phone call or a text from the best player in the world and another one of the best players in the world, you're going to feel like, hey, maybe that doesn't guarantee they'll all come here because money talks, right? Guys aren't going to, I shouldn't say some guys might, but if some teams offers you $5 million, the Oilers are offering you $2 million, well, it's a pretty easy decision. But if someone offers you 2.4 and the Oilers offer you 2.1 or $2 million, well, now it's a different conversation. So that's what I think for the Oilers. When you have the two best players, and I don't like the Oilers won't go into next season as a cup favorite, but they'll go in as a cup contender. Make no bones about it. I know there are people that are talking about, their window's closed. Give me a break. Their window's closed. Alex Ovechkin won a Stanley Cup in his 13th NHL season. And Nick Backstrom was really good, but no one would ever say Backstrom was Draisaitl. So, you had to have a good team, no question. Right? They had a good team. But it took many tries. And he never got out of the second round until they won the cup. So everybody has a different pace. Some guys will win in the first, some on their entry-level deals. Some will win before they're 25. Some superstars at 30. Some win later. And then some win again way later. Ask Nick Lidstrom. Nick Lidstrom is a pretty good player when they won their final Stanley Cup in Detroit in 2009. Guy who'd been drafted 19 years earlier, 1990. And he got drafted as a 20. Was he 39 or 40 by the time they won that cup? And I don't even have to look it up, but I am pretty confident that if I look up minutes played for Nick Lidstrom in the 2009 Stanley Cup season, I'm going to guess that he's right up there in minutes played for the Detroit Red Wings. Nick Lidstrom, 21 games played, 25 minutes, 39 seconds a night. Pretty good. Looking at Detroit. And so, even defensemen who won a round, the only defensemen who won a round that played more than him that year were Seabrook, Niedermeyer, Pronger, and Joni Pikkanen with Carolina, funny enough. But Pronger and with Anaheim, they lost in the second round that year. So, hey, great players can stay great for a long time. I have no doubt in my mind. So I think any team that has McDavid, you got a chance to win. Doesn't mean you will win, but they have a chance. So I don't buy anybody who tells you the Oilers' window to win is closed. I think is dreaming. Doesn't mean they'll win, but they'll be in the conversation. If McDavid, Draisaitl, Dickinson, and Henrique are healthy, did the Oilers beat the Anaheim Ducks? I'd probably guess they would be, for sure. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Greggs, didn't Lidstrom win the Norris in 2011? He did, but if you go back and look at that season, the year he won that, because I did a whole article on the Norris Trophy, and I will say that that's probably one where he won on reputation. I don't know if you could say that he won it on merit of that year. He had a good year, don't get me wrong, but he's a minus player. I wouldn't have. I don't know if I would have had him as my number one choice that season. That was he's older. I get it, but the award doesn't say how good are you based on your age. It's supposed to be who's the best defenseman that season. And arguably, when you look at minutes played and everything else, Lubomir Wisnowski, having done the research and did that whole article that I wrote, he's the guy I probably should have won. But Lidstrom won, I think, a little bit based on who his name was. And that's fine, but if we're just looking off merit, I always have a struggle, best defenseman, which includes offense and defense. So if you're great offensively, okay, and you give up something defensively, but you still got to be a plus player. So that was that'd be my concern with Nick Lidstrom that year. We'll get to Sean Campbell, and we got 5 questions. Stats of the day. We got 2 of them that I think you're going to be like, what? Yes. We'll get to those and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood, oodle, nood, oodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood.
Throw a load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open. Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Pick up to 6% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $3.99 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent there. See in store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Build stamina and relieve fatigue with new Roots Herbals Energy, a well-balanced formula with D-ribose, astragalus, and ginseng. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
Why should you drive a Subaru? How about durability, style, and an excellent customer experience from the moment you step into the showroom? And how about accolades, including awards for numerous 2026 Subaru models from both AutoTrader and JD Power? But don't just take my word for it. Take a test drive and you'll see why the Subaru name is recognized and renowned for quality. To learn more, visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips, we fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Floor 26, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Hanley, Declan Cougar, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. People are still fired up about Declan's first word choice in Wordle. Favor, I love this one. Declan can't even pick a word that you could use in Canada. True. Canadian spelling wouldn't fit. Very true. Very true. 427 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440, as it's time to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And today is McHappy Day. And you know what? Who doesn't like a good McDonald's every now and then? Well, you know what? Today's a day where you can feel like, you know what? I'm having McDonald's, not for me, but I'm helping out others. Because, of course, portions of everything purchased today will go help others, which is fantastic. It helps the Ronald McDonald House, which is a fantastic facility in Edmonton and across the country. So you want to go get a Big Mac, maybe a McDouble, chicken, whatever you get, do it today. And you can feel a little bit better knowing that you're helping out Ronald McDonald House. As we go out to talk a little Habs and Sabres, the final second round series begins tonight. Sean Campbell from TSN 690 in Montreal joins us. And Sean, obviously we saw it, pretty excited for the Habs in that Game 7 victory. Dobish played unreal. You're going to need your goalie to steal a game, and nobody's had a goalie steal a game more than him in the salary cap era. Canadians, the first team to win a playoff game with only single digits in shots on goal in 9. So they made it count, I guess, is what they will say. But now you move ahead. Now they're taking on Buffalo, another kind of young, up-and-coming team, similar to the Montreal Canadiens. I will say, though, I actually think Buffalo has a better defense core without Hedman than Tampa Bay had. So how do you think Montreal is going to attack that D core?
Yeah, I'm curious about that, too, because we were breaking it down all week on Campbell versus Gallo, and without Hedman, I do agree. I think the Sabres blue line is better, and I'm probably one of the biggest Rasmus Dahlins fans out there. I think this guy is incredible. I think he's a player that you have to watch out for from start to finish in this series if the Canadiens can keep him quiet, because he's kind of one of those guys that have this nasty edge to his game, physical, behind the scenes. He's not going to back down from anything. He leads it offensively. He leads it defensively. So I think he's the key. Everybody else, yes, you have Byram there. You can go down the list of every different defenseman that's on that blue line. I think the Canadiens need to attack Rasmus Dahlin and get him a little bit off his game. But he might thrive by going after him. If Josh Anderson gets it on the forecheck and goes after him, if Kirby Dach or Paul Duck starts yapping and they start doing, that might ignite Dahlin. So you really have to read the room when it comes to Rasmus Dahlin. But big shout out to that blue line. I'm with you. I think that it gets overlooked how strong it is, even in comparison to Tampa Bay. But I would target Rasmus Dahlin. This is going to be a great matchup. I can't wait for it to start tonight.
Now, the Canadiens obviously are starting on the road, so they won't have matchups. We know that Tampa Bay really wanted to get that Cirelli-Suzuki matchup. I don't see Buffalo necessarily having a line that they're like, oh my God, we got to get him out there against Suzuki's line. So that should, in theory, open up Montreal's line to do a little bit more offensively.
Yeah, so there's a couple things. And going back to Tampa Bay, I'm with you. I think if you go back at the end of that series, John Cooper got caught up in the matchups. Like at the end of the day, get your best players out there all the time against whoever. They're the best players. And when you have a player like Kucherov, who is one of the top 3 players in the National Hockey League, he should not ever, when he starts the shift, have to go run to the bench and change. It just makes no sense in my mind. And I think John Cooper got into his own head. I think for Marty St. Louis, he was like, fine, you want to play the matchup game? I'll play it. I'll put 2 centers out there. He was mixing and matching throughout the whole series. However, it was at the expense of the Canadiens' offense. And Slafkovsky, Caulfield, and Suzuki didn't finish the series. Demidov and Slafkovsky were together. You saw a variety of different lines. I agree. I don't think they're going to match lines in this series. I don't think it matters if it's on the road or at home. Canadiens are going to put out what they're going to put out. I think the Sabres are going to put out what they're going to put out. If they get into this matchup little game, it'll be at the end of periods. It'll be, at the end of the game when they want certain people in certain situations. It doesn't really matter who's on the other side. So I think for the Canadiens, they're probably just going to go back to their 4 lines. bring it out there and do what they can. And it looks like Veleno's going to get into the series. That means they probably want to bring a little more speed, grit, defensive play. But I don't think the Canadiens are going to get caught up in matchups here on the road in Buffalo.
Okay. Dobish has played great for Montreal, and it's very hard to project the future, especially when it comes to goaltending. We've seen goalies all across where a guy has a good year and then they don't have a good year. And I'm not saying he's not going to have a good year, but when you look at their goaltending with Montembeault and Dobish and Fowler, like, is it too obvious to say, okay, they're going to trade Montembeault in the summer? Or do you think that's going to happen? What do you think they do in between the pipes in the offseason?
I don't know. Two, I know down the stretch, everybody was getting on Montembeault. In my head, knowing exactly what you said, Jason, was I kept trying to tell people, like, Montembeault might be the goalie next year. Like, you don't know. Now, Dobish is really taking the reins here. And this is something pretty special. And my theory, and I don't run an NHL organization, and the only thing I know is that I can't predict goaltenders. When you're trying to bring someone into the NHL and draft a goaltender, you're drafting them at 18 years old when these goalies are only going to come into their own at 24, at 25. My theory as a GM, if I ever ran an NHL team, and it's weird that the Canadiens have been doing this lately, every year, no matter what, at some point, draft a goalie. Just draft a goalie once a year. One of them's going to pan out. Hey, look, Jakub Dobish, who was not on the radar for any Habs fans. Fowler was, Montembeault was there, Caden Primo was on that radar, but Dobish was just there. I called Laval Rocky games with Jakub Dobish in goal, and he was struggled at the beginning, and then he took over a little bit, and he took the reins, but you still looked at him and said, yeah, he might get a shot. Hey, he has a career as a backup. You told me when I first saw Jakub Dobish that in a 2-year span, he was going to be starting for the Canadiens against Tampa Bay Lightning and beating Vasilevsky in a 7-game series.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't have taken that. But his path has been exponential. And as I say, you don't know who these goalies are at 18, 19. I don't care what prospect does at 20, 21 years old. It is a rarity that an NHL goalie becomes a starter at 21. The last two are really Carter Hart. We know what happened there. Vasilevsky, Carey Price. Other than that, even these top goalies like Askarov, it's taken a while. You Spencer Knight, a tough first-round pick, takes a while. Wait till they're 23, 24, 25 before you decide who they are. And right now, Dobish is taking the reins. So I'm with you. I don't know what the situation for the Canadiens will be next year. There's no rush on Fowler. He's just backing up. Montembeault is just hanging out with the team. Next year, they might have a 3-goalie system for all I know. Fowler might be back in Laval, and it might be Dobish with more starts than Montembeault. But they're in no rush to do anything at the goaltending position. They're in a situation where even with Dobish thriving in the playoffs, they can sit and wait.
Yeah, it's a good position to be in for certain.
Yeah.
They got a huge boost late in that series by getting Noah Dobson back in the lineup. Like the fact that I thought that might have gotten overlooked, the fact that Montreal was able to hang with Tampa Bay and stay in the series until he came back, because you know what, he came back and he played a lot of minutes. I know that he's not necessarily, first few games you're not going to be as good as you were, but that defensive play he made on that 1-2-on-1 man, like I was like, God, that was a huge opportunity for them. And how much better do you think that makes them heading into this round now that they have him from game one?
Yeah, and with a couple days rest and they can get him in, he's got a game under his belt. I think this goes a long way. And you saw what happened in game 7. So they couldn't really do this earlier in the series. With Dobson out, their 5-6 is Struble and Jackeye. And Jackeye had played stronger at the beginning of the series, who was in and out of the lineup throughout all season. But at the end of the series, you could see that some mistakes were starting to happen. Struble has been a little bit more mobile, and they trust him just a little bit more if you look at the distribution of minutes. But Dobson comes in, Jackeye goes out. What does that do? That suddenly gives the Canadiens 5 defensemen that they trust.
Mm-hmm.
And then halfway through the second period, they were like, okay, well, Struble is not playing. He played 5 minutes. He didn't play end of second and all of the third in that game 7. And they just were comfortable. We're like, oh, we'll just play 5 defense. Okay, no problem. They couldn't do that with Dobson before. Struble and Jackeye were out there with 5 minutes left in the game. They were getting regular shifts because Matheson and Hudson and Carrier, they needed the rest. Like Carrier, he could play some minutes and they trust him, but he can't push him too much. Having Dobson puts Carrier back in his right spot, gives Gooley a little bit time to breathe. So it is a game changer having Dobson. This is a guy that on any given night could be your number 2. He could be your top defenseman. He could be your 3. The 1, 2, 3 that the Canadians have, and 4 now with Gooley, is pretty strong. And now you drop Carrier into a 5 position. It's just a little bit more trustworthy from 1 to 5, even though it's Struble or Jack-Eye at 6.
So what's the matchup you think they're going to try to get? I know they're on the road, but what's the main matchup you think they'll look for tonight?
I think for the Canadians, I'm just curious, even if they're going to, and I know we'll find out soon, and you know what, warm up for Marty St. Louis doesn't even matter, if they're going to put Slafkovsky, Caulfield, and Suzuki back together. To me, I 100% would do it. It's a new series. Put them back together. I think you need to have a little bit more offense. I think it's going to be a more offensively driven series than you had against the Tampa Bay Lightning, 2 teams who were really just mimicking each other defensively and not giving up any odd man rushes. I think that there'll be odd man rushes if you put them together. So I think that's a matchup which Buffalo will have to decide what they want to do. So then I think you'll get like Dahlin against that group as much as possible. That to me frees things up. Ivan Demidov, the nominee for the Calder for the Canadians, did not produce at the level that he did during the regular season. But in games 5, 6, and I know that game 6 was an epic 0-0 game, and it was 2-1 and with only 9 shots, technically 7 because the 2 goals weren't even shots on net. Yeah. It was weird that 7 shots on goal and they scored 2 that were going wide. And I think Demidov might be able to take advantage of a defenseman or 2 out on the ice. He looked very dynamic and dangerous late in that series, even though he didn't produce the points that they wanted. I think that's the matchup. If he can get against a depth defenseman, he's going to surprise them. They're not going to be ready for what he could do out there on the ice, and that could be a game-breaking, a moment for the Canadians on the road in Buffalo.
Lastly, give me your thoughts on the draft lottery. Do you think with Toronto getting the number 1 pick, now they'll choose, they're going to take a defenseman, are they going to take McKenna, who they're going to take? Is that enough to get them a contender again? Because I look at their lineup, man, and I just wonder about their defense core.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you take that number 1, you got to take the most talented player, and I know you could go with the Swede, you could go with McKenna, you could go defense, you could trade the pick. With the GM John Chaika there, who knows what he's going to do? You haven't seen him in action. There's not really anything in the last 5 years to know what he's thinking in the position that he's in right now. But man, what a wild series of days for the Toronto Maple Leafs, from the hire, from the press conference to winning the draft lottery. I mean, I know that Jason being in another Canadian market that's not Toronto, same thing for me. A lot of these other hockey markets like to smirk and laugh at what's happening in Toronto, and they just landed on something pretty big, and it could change the dynamic of what they can do. I think, with the questions around Austin Matthews, he's been there around 10 years. They're in a cap crunch, but you're going to be able to get a player that's going to be cap constrained for at least 3 years and likely going to be in your roster right away. You're getting a number 1 overall pick. They may go for broke and not ship things out and say, no, we're going to run it back and we're going to do what we can to get right back into the mix next year with a low cost, high end skilled player.
Yeah, well, I could see why they do it, because they don't have a first rounder for the next 2 years unless they.
Yeah, you got to do it now. Right? Yeah, let's go for it now.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't want to give away, a top 15 or top 10 pick to Philly or Boston in the next few years. No. So they got to get healthy. That's going to be the key for Matthews. We're looking up. Matthews has actually played 88.1% of games in his career. He's played 689 out of 782 possible games he could play. So it's just like last year he missed 22 games, and then he missed 15 games the year before that. And his goal totals, like he had the 2 good years, but he had 40 in between. Then he had 33 and 27, which for average player, you're like, oh, that's a pretty good season. But yeah. Not for
you scored 69 once, you can't go back.
Yeah, like my concern about Matthews is his health. When he's available, I think he's pretty good. But even when he was available last year, and if you go to NHL Edge, like his shot velocity has gone down every year. And that to me is the one concern about Montreal. But the other thing is, I think it showed even the best shooters need a playmaker. And losing Mitch Marner, they didn't have a playmaker, right? If they draft the forward, I think he's probably more of a playmaker. right now than a shooter. So maybe that'll work. It's a first round pick. Like, trust me, if I was a first overall pick and I get to go to a team that has Willie Nylander and John Tavares and Austin Matthews, like that normally doesn't happen for an 18, 19-year-old player, right? So that's the advantage that you're going to have too. Because
think about Slafkovsky, right? He showed up with Caulfield and Suzuki already there.
Yeah, but look at Bedard, right? Like he never really had anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Celebrini hasn't, and he's been unreal. So I guess you don't necessarily need it. It's sure going to help.
He's special.
Give me your thoughts on the series and who you like and why.
I like the Habs in this one. I think, the first series against Tampa Bay, and a lot of people feel like there's going to be a letdown coming. It's that feeling. I had a feeling that the two top teams in the East were facing each other. And I know Carolina's looked good, but their opponents haven't. But the two top teams in the East were Montreal and Tampa facing in the first round. If Montreal can just take that momentum that they had in Tampa and not stop, Buffalo didn't have that kind of intensity and that drama and that drive against Boston. Yeah, there were some moments, but they're blowout games, and they kind of cruise past the Bruins in the end. I think if the Canadiens just show up and play like they played at the level defensively against the Tampa Bay Lightning and grind it out, Buffalo's not going to be ready for that kind of playoff hockey. They had their first open series. Congratulations. But the Canadiens, they're young, but they're experienced. They played last year against the Capitals in an intense series. They played against Tampa in an intense series. This young Buffalo Sabres just kind of cruise past the Bruins. I think the Canadiens might show up and take the game. I don't want to say easily. There's nothing easy in the playoffs, but surprise a lot of people what they're going to do in game one tonight. But I like the Canadiens in this one tonight and in the series.
Awesome, man. We appreciate it. Enjoy the series. It's going to be fun in Montreal for sure. Sean Campbell joining us. Thanks for your time, man. We'll talk to you again soon.
No problem. First word of the day, death. Go with death. That's a good one.
Death. Favor's a terrible first word. Like, I'm sorry, but it's like the ECHL of first words. That's what I'll say. So awesome.
Cheers,
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. And hey, I love the ECHL, so we're just making a little fun there. Quick break. We'll come back. We got 5 questions. We got Mark Spector. We also have more from Stan Bowman because, I like to play everything in its entirety. We got lots from Chris. We've got lots of time to get through some of the comments. I know a lot of times people hear like 1 or 2. You don't hear everything. I think it's important to hear everything. So we'll get to more of that as well. The Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks. Ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
Increase resistance to stress and support memory enhancement with new Roots Herbals Ashwagandha. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3, saving you more money with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on now. Get a big deal on a 2026 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
I love the colorful clothes you wear and the way the sunlight plays upon her.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Kruger on a lovely Wednesday afternoon. How are you? Welcome back to the show. As always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can try a lot of different things. But whatever you do, use your game sense. GameSenseAB.ca to ensure you stay within your limits at PlayAlberta.ca. As we get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, where saving you more is what they do. The tent sale is on right now, and you can get massive savings, but hurry in. It ends Sunday at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. Earlier today on Fantasy Frenzy, the Duke and I got into generational talents versus franchise players. I want to ask you, outside of McDavid, Crosby, throw Obi in there potentially, who do you have as that next tier or closest to being generational talent?
Potentially. How's Obi not like Obi?
Well,
Obi's, come on, he's the greatest goal scorer of all time.
If we say one every 10 years, but yeah.
But sometimes you can have 2 in the same generation. I don't think generational has to mean there's only one player. But I do think that people at times will stretch it out to want to include, well, that's just our society today. We want to include everybody and everything. So it's always even. And like somehow it's offensive. So if I'm saying that those are the 3, McDavid, Crosby, and Ovechkin in one tier, and I'd have a hard time why anybody would argue with that, right? So I would say who's the next tier. So, well, I'd probably have put Leon Draisaitl in there for sure. You just look at his points per game, everything else. Like, since McDavid's been in the league, who has the second most points? Leon Draisaitl. I'd have Draisaitl, McKinnon, and Kucherov right there. Cale Makar, I think, has been around long enough now that he would probably go in. And Vasilevsky.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have Vasilevsky. That would have been my omission. I don't disagree with you. I think that's a good name to have in there. But the guys you named, I would totally agree with. Looking forward to see what Malcolm Celebrini can do in the next few years here to maybe.
Yeah, we need to see more.
Yeah,
Like, 1 year doesn't make you, right there. Had a great year, man, and you hope it continues.
For sure. Question number 2 for you. Now, we saw the Leafs will have the first overall pick. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident would you say that you are that the Leafs take McKenna?
Well, if you listen to their new GM, they haven't had scout meetings yet. So, I would hope the scouts have, just because the new GM hasn't. But, like Gavin McKenna, Stenberg's the interesting one for me. You got a lot of other guys. I don't see Verhoff being a number 1 pick. That doesn't mean he's not going to be a very good pick. Cale Makar went 4th. Just remember that, people. I think it's probably going to be McKenna ultimately. Especially because he's a pretty good playmaker and they got a shooting center. So it's kind of a good fit when you look at what they have.
Yeah, I'd say I'm a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, sure, they could always go a different direction. Things have happened before, but
I'd probably go 8, I guess, to answer your question.
Yeah. I think we're both probably fairly confident that this will be the pick. And I think it's kind of cool. Going to the hockey, the center of the hockey universe. Question number 3 for you. If you had a choice, not who you think, but who would you like to see meet in the NBA final coming out of the, meet in the NBA final. Sorry, I butchered that question, but who do you want to see the remaining teams?
Well, Thunder and Spurs would be a great West final, and Pistons and Knicks. I think that would be. I think that's probably what it's going to be. So, ideally, I'd like to see Thunder Spurs in the final. But the way the Knicks have played, I'll go Thunder Knicks.
Yeah, I'm with you for the Thunder Spurs. Like, we want to see Wemby, we want to see SGA, the Stars. I want to see the storyline of the Thunder going back to back. So I'd like to see them make their way to the final. I said at the start of the playoffs, my guy to watch was Cade Cunningham, and so I have to stick with the Pistons. I think they'll get past the Knicks. I'm going to say Thunder, Pistons, and I think the Thunder get the job done eventually. Question number 4 for you. The PWHL announcing they'll be in Detroit next season, one of 4 expected franchises to be announced. Is there another market you like? And then question 2, do you ever see Edmonton getting a team?
Good question. Another market. I look at, for them, it's, you kind of probably want to go east-west a little bit. I don't know if they want to go that far west. You probably need another one, though, in the west. Just going to cut down on travel for those teams a little bit. So I would say that. Do I think Edmonton will eventually get a team? Yeah, probably. But where are they going to play? I think they need a facility because I just don't. The league isn't at the point in most markets. The WHL would rather have a 10,000 seat facility in Edmonton. So, you can have certain like Teddy Bear Toss game and some other games there. Sure. But I think in an ideal world, that's probably what you'd like. So I'll say, and I know there's been lots of talk about having that facility built in Edmonton for quite some time. I don't know if it ever happens. If it does, then I'd say, boom, they'd get a team. Now, they could get a team before then anyway. You can do what you do with the Oil Kings and put up the curtains and stuff like that. And I think there'd be lots of interest for a team here. But just based on other markets, I think they would look for a facility. So I'll say Edmonton will get a team, but probably 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, I think it'll happen eventually, down the road for sure. If I was looking for other teams, I like you said, you kind of have to make it work for travel. My dream, I think, like a San Diego team would be cool, Vegas, but I'm going to say more realistically, like Hamilton probably. In 2021, they had the 10th highest population in our country. It's right in that area. I'd like to see them bridge the gap, whether it's Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, somewhere to make it a little bit easier, get on that west road trip. But yeah, that would be my 2 picks for cities in the future. And then final question for you today. It is National Cartoonist Day. So give me your top 3 cartoons of all time. You can go back to when you were just a little kid.
Go ahead.
For me, I would probably have to have The Simpsons in there. That was a show we watched every Sunday night. I've grown to really enjoy King of the Hill. That'd be another cartoon. And then a show I watched when I was younger was Recess. Every Saturday morning, one Saturday morning. So those would be probably the 3. And if it was like a real like newspaper cartoon,
Well, see, that's what well, isn't cartoonist? That's what I thought you were talking here. I didn't think you were talking TV.
But I'm going all cartoons, like anyone you want here.
Okay, well,
Peanuts would be the good one, or Calvin and Hobbes, actually.
Oh, Calvin and Hobbes is number one. It's not even close. Like for cartoon, Calvin and Hobbes, and then them going the Far Side, unbelievable. Now, as I got older, the Far Side was great. And then if I missed, then I would go with Looney Tunes if I'm going TV. So those would be my three. Man, if I could go back and just be able to have Calvin and Hobbes books reading for the first time, throw on the Far Side, and then I get to watch Looney Tunes, I'm not sure I could have a better childhood. God, it'd be so good. Love it. Calvin and Hobbes is unreal, man. And I actually have all my Calvin and Hobbes books. So there's not, like, I'm not a big, like, I don't keep a lot of things. I'm not a big materialistic person. But Calvin and Hobbes books, I kept them all in the hopes that one day I would have a kid or kids and they could read them. And I think my son is now at the age to read Calvin and Hobbes. Like, oh man, like I can still, there's certain ones that I remember. Like the brilliance of Calvin and Hobbes was how, because sometimes it's on the page and sometimes it would be like 8 or 10 different scenes, but lots of them were just 3 or 4 across in one straight line, right? Like you'd have 3 different topics. And the ones when he had Mo, and Mo's street smart, means he knows what street he lives on. Like it was the greatest, I thought it was the greatest insult ever. Oh, remember the little bully Mo that they had? God, it was so funny. Yeah, Mo's street smart means he knows what street he lives on. God, it still makes me laugh. But there were so many classics from that. I loved the imagination of Calvin Hobbes. It was perfect at that age. So I would, I might have to read them again, but I've kept them and they're in great shape. And I think my son last year, I offered, he's like, no, but now he's really into reading. And I think he would actually quite like these. So at least I got to get him to try one. So.
In the paper, what do you remember from like the comics? Was Garfield a comic?
Yeah, Garfield was. The Far Side, I remember. And because, God, we used to get the Edmonton Journal as a kid. And my brother and I, whoever got the sports section, the other guy would get the comics.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember the name. Like, I can't remember what it looked like because I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. But yeah, yes, Charlie Brown was in it. Far Side, I remember a lot. God, I don't think I remember many other ones, to be honest. So, Yardley Jones, he was unreal in the Edmonton Journal. I do remember him, but his was more just like the one-off, right? And so yeah, I can't remember the names of the other ones. Like I can visualize the family. You had the old grandpa in one. He was pretty funny. But yeah. I don't remember the other ones, Cons. You got me.
I thought there was one like something life. And I can't remember, but it was like the family.
Family Life?
I don't even know. I was hoping one of our listeners would recall what it was. Family Circus. I think that did actually from Dean.
Yeah, that's probably right.
That's definitely the one. Yeah. Not Life, Family Circus.
Well, I'm trying to God, there was I'd have to go back. This now you got me thinking, man. I got to go back and look. I can't remember the names of many of them. So that's fail on my part.
Dennis the Menace was another good one.
Now, Dennis. Oh yeah, Dennis the Menace. That's a good one. Jeez. Was there? I think there was one according to Guinness. I think that's one that I remember now. And I'm trying to think of ones in the 80s, 90s, because that was kind of the time I used to read it all the time. I didn't end up reading it more later on, but Spider-Man, right? Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he would have been one. So, but I don't know if that was more the actual like comic book, not the comics in the paper though. I don't think
was Dilbert in the comic strip ever?
Yeah, Dilbert. Yeah, good one. Should remember more, but I don't. Hagar the Horrible, good one. Yes. Hagar the Horrible. Andy Kopp, another one. Yes. Thank you. Maddie in a Tractor. Hacksaw. I like it. Habman. Perfect. Let's get to the Con Man. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. And finally, 0% financing on heavy-duty trucks and on half tons. Get it right now. NorthgateGM.com.
1440 update.
2 games today in the Stanley Cup playoffs getting going shortly. Sabres and Canadians from Montreal. That's from Buffalo. That's game 1 of their series. Then at 7:30, the Ducks trying to get back into their series against the Golden Knights. Off the ice, Canadians captain Nick Suzuki, out for Brock Nelson, and Tampa Bay Lightning center Anthony Cirelli were named finalists for the Frank J. Selke Trophy, which is presented annually to the forward who best excels in defensive aspects of the game. In the association, you've got the Knicks and Sixers, game 2. New York up 1-0 in that one at 7:30. The Spurs will try to even up their series with the Timberwolves. Major League Baseball earlier today, the Jays falling to the Rays 3-0. Also, the Brewers over the Cards 6-2. Dodgers dropped the Astros 12-2. Giants fall at home to the Padres 5-1. And the Mariners over the Braves 3-1. Later today, Yankees, Rangers, Reds taking on the Cubbies, Royals hosting the Guardians, Mets in Colorado, and the Diamondbacks take on the Pirates. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. We'll talk some Golden Knights with Ken Volke. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
Afternoon, happy
Hummets Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 69-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadian and Coors Light for $5.75. Plus, OTR's TVs are so clear, you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? Score and win every game night during Edmonton's playoff run with specials starting 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocks.com.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1, saving you money with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2, water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3, saving you more money with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well. Restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice. EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365. UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking. Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service. Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project. Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Take up to 60% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $3.99 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See in store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. You've known and trusted us as Canada's lawn expert since 1979. In all that time, the only thing we've loved to watch grow and flourish more than your lawn is our community. You've given us so much over the years, and we love to give back. Our community events crew is on the streets, at the festivals, and helping grow great causes and charities across the city. We love knowing your lawn is taken care of, and we'll help take care of the community too. Visit greendrop.com, and we'll see you out there.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. A few more Foxtrot. Good one. Also, Better or Worse. We're talking about the old cartoons in the paper. Classics. I like it. Hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. A really good show today. We learned words not to use in Wordle. It's always important. Good. Also, the Canadians and the Sabres on paper looking like this could be one heck of a series. We'll have to see how it plays out, but there's lots of reasons to like the series. I like the matchup. Suzuki and Kafka, they're hoping they can score a little bit more. They don't have to deal with Cirelli. That top four defenseman, Bowen Byram, has been unreal in the playoffs for Buffalo. And then you throw in Samuelson, you throw in Dahlin. God, they are deep on the back end in Buffalo. I think, especially without Hedman, Buffalo's defense core better than Tampa Bay's. Dahlin, Power, Byram, Samuelson. You got Kesselring, you got Logan Stanley. Big, physical, skilled. It's a good decor. Getting Noah Dobson back obviously helps Montreal significantly. And the late game tonight has, of course, the Vegas Golden Knights trying to go up 2-0 on the Anaheim Ducks. And we got a lot of texts and people saying, you know what, I just can't watch that series. I get it, because you probably thought your team should be in it. It's understandable. I get it. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And a $40 million gold ball jackpot tonight. Lotto 649. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. And, of course, while you're there, you can check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost and get in on that Vegas-Anaheim game if you wish. Coming up tomorrow on the show, we're going to hear from Connor McDavid and some other things. So should be fun. We're just a few days away from CFL training camp. It just kind of snuck up on us. And next year, training camp is going to be in April, which it's going to be different. Not bad. I think it's actually good. I'm a fan of the new CFL playoff format. I think it's awesome. You're going to have more games that are meaningful by the top teams. That's good. Also, the chance of a Edmonton, Calgary, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, Toronto, Hamilton, Grey Cup. I love that's never been really an option before. Now it is. That's fantastic to me. I think it's great. And, it could have some upsets for sure. I don't really buy the regular season doesn't mean anything. No one complained for years when 6 out of 8 made it. To me, I'm not that concerned on that. You get to the playoffs, people are watching the playoffs, you enjoy the playoffs. Now you just have more playoff games. I think it's positive. So the Elks, I would like to think they should be top 3 in their division this year. You got to take a step forward. On paper, they look good. Now we'll see if they can A, stay healthy, and B, execute. As we get to the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists, and they are hiring top men, operators, pipe layers. You're just looking to start your career. Go to gsconstruction.ca and look up careers. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Doing great, man. How you doing, Jay?
I am.
I'll bet you didn't have as much fun this afternoon as I had.
Why, were you golfing?
No, I was putting in a baby gate at my son's place. Like, putting in a baby gate now. We used to just get those ones where you screwed them out and they were tension on the walls. You put them in like 5 minutes. No, not anymore. Now you got to screw them all in and put in the anchors and level them out. And oh my God, I spent my afternoon doing it. It was really fun.
Yeah. I remember getting one of those and you just put it on. It had the suction on the end. It was on there in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, me too. Not anymore. Now you're drilling holes. You're using anchors.
Oh, buddy, you're buying the wrong one. Jeez.
Well, I didn't buy it. If I had bought it, I'd have been having a cold beer 3 hours ago, buddy.
Oh, nice. Oh, God.
Kidding? Oh, no. We found this one on Amazon, and it's the best one.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best one.
Oh,
I'm looking at it thinking, it's not the best one.
No, I don't. I don't think it is either. Looking at, hey, I know it's early, but At what point do you think, I know you're a big baseball guy, at what point do the Jays get concerned that Vladdy can't hit a home run, can't hit with power?
Don't we have this conversation every year about Vladdy? Doesn't he always get the quarter halfway into the season and he's getting nothing done? Like, when do we get 162 game Vladdy here?
No.
You know, when do we get a guy that shows up ready to hit off the hop here and help my team win? Like now, not starting in July. That's my takeaway off Vladdy. This is like deja vu for me. I feel like we have this conversation every year. Am I wrong in that?
Well, he's never been a great starter. Right, but this year it's like even well below for me. Like he is, you look at his April last year, and he only had one more home run, so not much different. But his batting average is way better this year. Last year he was like 269 in the month of April. This year, like he's hitting the ball, he's just not hitting for power. And in like I looked at it, and hey, you get a lot of singles, great. But you got to mix in a few home runs here, right? Like Okamoto's pounding, he's got 10 home runs, first-year player in the league. And, Vladdy, who crushed home runs in the playoffs, man, like for fun.
Yep.
Like, so that to me is.
He was great. He was great down the stretch.
Yes.
Most of the last half of the season, he was the guy you're paying the big money to, and he was earning it. But guess what? It's not an 81-game season, Vladdy, right? They start in, May. We start playing ball now, not in July, my friend. So I guess that's what I'm saying to you is like, holy cow, when do we get a whole season out of this guy, Jim?
Yeah, well, especially when you're paying him that much money, at some point you got to get going. Like they got a lot of other. He's not the only guy going, right? Their bats have really let them down. Their only saving grace is that the American League is not overly strong, and you look at the Jays. And they're sitting like a game and a half out of a wild card spot, right? So they're not, they're not out of it by any stretch. Now, first place maybe in the American League might be out of it because I think they're like 9.5 games back already of the Yankees.
But you mean the AL East?
Yeah, AL East.
But you know what? I guess I'd say to you, like it kind of reminds me of the Oilers. I want to say the Jays have had a million injuries and they're playing very average to poor. And if you're telling me they're still in the playoff hunt, I'm telling you, how good are they going to be when they start playing ball here? Like, I assume they're going to get better. I assume the Oilers are going to get better too, Jay. Guess what? They never really got that much better. So, if the Jays play the way they're supposed to play, they're a playoff team. But, if the Oilers played they were supposed to play the way they were supposed to play, they were going to win a couple rounds. So, I guess we got to wait and see, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no guarantee, man. You can't just assume that, and the Oilers learned that this year. You can't just assume that the regular season means nothing, right?
Well,
in baseball, it means even more because there's fewer teams that make it, and it's way longer.
That's right. Life's just a big baby gate, Jason. Sometimes they go in easy, and sometimes you got to work for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very true. The Colorado Avalanche. You watch them play. They're up 2-0. They've yet to lose a game against the Minnesota. What did you make of the Wild? They switched their goalie, and you look at how that game started. Not that the goals were bad per se, Spec, but there was a lot of goals on limited shots early in the first period.
Yeah, I don't like the strategy. I think Hines screwed it up. I mean, Wallsted's my A guy. The first game was crazy. The other guy let in at the other end of the rink, let in 6 or whatever he let in. So I don't think you punish your starter by taking him out. I think you say that was just a freak game. Nobody played well defensively. There's a million chances. I'm sticking with my guy. If he doesn't play great in game 2, okay. Now I'm going to Gustafsson. But he pulled the plug on Wallstead. He went to Gustafsson. Gustafsson wasn't that great. Now they're down 2-0. Who are you playing in goal in game 3?
Probably going back to Wallstead, I would think.
Okay, the guy you just told you don't trust. So great. That I don't like that coaching move. I think Hines blew it. That's what I think. I think you got to give it wasn't like it was 9-1 in game 1, right? It was a 15-goal hockey game or whatever it turned into.
Yeah.
So I think he screwed up. He should have gone back to Wallstead. And now if Wallstead goes down 2-0, you can look him in the eye and say, hey man, we need a change. We're going to the other guy. But he's just used both guys. He's down 0-2, and now he's sitting in the coach's room flipping a coin for game 3.
Do you think the fact that there's 3 days off between games, which I can't remember the last time in a 7-game series, there was a 3-day break in between the games. Now, it's arena availability is why this has happened. But what do you make? Do you think, is that advantageous at all for Minnesota or Colorado?
Well, Minnesota, if anybody. Colorado wants to keep playing. Come on, they're 6-0.
Yeah.
Right? Colorado wants to play every second night until they're having a Stanley Cup parade. So does Carolina. I know hockey players. I know hockey players. They love when things are going good and there's a game every second night. That's what they want. A light skate or a day off in between, and let's just play. So it for sure favors Mini. So Mini gets to have a break in the momentum. They got to, they got to go to school on what's going on with Colorado. I'm not sure that there's something I'm going to learn on video that's going to allow me to beat that Colorado team. I mean, I can't believe how good they look. Yeah. Big, fast, physical, deep. Goaltending's good enough. Tons of skill. Their best forward, McKinnon's also running around drilling guys into the fourth row. Like
that was a big hit, man.
I love that team there. I got a ton of respect for what's going on there, boy. It's going to take something to beat Colorado. They got Stanley Cup winners written all over them.
Yeah, they look really good, right? Really good. So
yeah,
I'm kind of curious how Minnesota is going to respond. Like, I don't think they're just going to roll over. And the old adage, a series doesn't start till a team loses at home, and there's some truth to that at times. So we'll see. But early on, man, like the other scary part is Nathan McKinnon was kind of quiet to start the LA series, but now he's ramped up. He's got 6 points in 2 games in this series. He's got 9 points in his last 3 games. I think he's one of only 4 players in NHL history to have 3 consecutive 3-point games. Like they're rolling, and their best player is really starting to feel it.
Well, and Eriksson Ek isn't playing, and I don't know if he's coming back.
Yeah.
And Brodin's not playing. I don't know if he's coming back. And, there is, we all saw it in Edmonton. Like, now that we know how bad guys were hurt, now that we know that it was some kind of an oblique or abdominal thing for Hyman, now that we know Connor McDavid had a busted foot, now that we know Dickinson had a busted something, foot, leg, ankle, whatever it was, we're all on the outside, Jay, trying to figure out why Connor McDavid looks slow, why Eriksson Ek isn't practicing. On the inside, they know, right? The players know. Players all knew that McDavid had a busted foot. And that puts, when your best guys, if Brodin's not playing, if Eriksson Ek's not playing, that takes takes some steam out of your game, man. The belief, right? It takes a little bit out of your belief, because those are the 2 guys that had a huge hand in getting you there. They're 2 of your most important players, and they might be telling the media, "Oh, don't worry, he'll be back next game." But the players know if he's coming back or not. And that, to me, they know. And the players in Edmonton knew that McDavid was going to have a busted foot for the rest of the playoffs. And don't tell me that they didn't kind of think, you know what, we ain't doing it if our best guy's got a busted foot here. So that's my thinking on Minnesota. They got to get those big guys back if they got any chance to win. They ain't beating Colorado without Brodin and Eriksson Ek, man. No chance.
The draft lottery, I know we announced it. We didn't really get into it, but Toronto wins. Then San Jose moves up to number 2. Vancouver goes down to 3. Calgary goes from 4 to 6. Like those 2 organizations, my goodness, if it wasn't for bad luck, they'd have no luck, unfortunately, in the draft lottery. You like Toronto, they don't have a first rounder next year or the year after because they're already in Boston and Philadelphia. Does the fact that they won the lottery just guarantee that Shaika and Sundin now have to be even more aggressive and be like, we got to have like a super fast retool?
I don't know. Like that's, you can say that. You can say, I'm going to do a super fast retool. And I'm going to ask you, first of all, I'd ask you, who's really executed a retool at any stage that actually had staying power and lasted? My first statement will be, I think we could say Tampa did. Like Tampa won, and then they kind of fell off. And then, you know what? They got good again. But even Tampa, they've lost in the first round 4 years in a row, right?
Yeah. After winning 2 cups, but yeah.
Yeah. They won their cups. I'm not saying taking that away from them, but the point is they didn't go down. They kind of made some smart moves. Brisebois is a genius. And I would say that's a very successful retool. And even that retool has not gone back to being a Stanley Cup retool. They just get to the playoffs. You know, the Rangers retooled. They won the President's Cup. Where are they today? Right? Washington retooled. Carberry got the Jack Adams last year. They didn't make playoffs this year. So I'm a guy that I'm coming from the show me state on these retools, man. Like, if you think, you know, Pittsburgh. Okay, Pittsburgh. They're retooled this year. They made the playoffs. They lost the first round. Now what? Like, are they going to ascend to become a Stanley Cup contender now, Jason? Or are they just going to fart around at 8th place again? Like, you tell me, am I missing a retool that works somewhere?
Yeah, it's a good question. Montreal wasn't down that long. They're a competitive team, right? They were down for a short time, but first of all, there's no Stanley Cup champ who's retooled. That's for sure, because usually those guys just age out, and you look at Chicago and you look at Los Angeles, and then you look at, like Tampa Bay and Florida, and eventually it's coming for most teams. So retools are more the teams that are kind of middling, that think, wow, we don't want to go all the way to the bottom, so let's try to bring it back up. And you can stay in the playoffs a bit.
Middling.
Right?
You can stay middling.
Yeah, it's hard to –
it's middling.
It's really hard to be a consistent contender without having top picks, right? Like, now those top picks can be 10, 15, 12 years earlier. Look at Tampa Bay, did it for a long time, right? And you're right, because Tampa Bay, they got rid of Stamkos, and they traded off him, and they've still kept the gang together. Now they're not winning much in the playoffs, but they're still making the playoffs. They're a competitive team, 100-point team.
Okay.
It is hard, right? Like Boston maybe would be the one, maybe, but I don't still think Boston's hit rock bottom yet, to be honest. Like, I think they've been teetering. They're swimming they're swimming upstream, and let their heads out of the water. They're not drowning, but I think they're taking on water, and I think it's just slowly a matter of time for them.
Well, I have Boston and Pittsburgh in the same boat. I thought they'd both go down this year, and to their credit, both didn't. They both made the playoffs, and good for them. Like, I would say to you that I was wrong, but I would also say to you that they both lost in the first round. They both are getting older. They're best players, many of them, and they both don't look to me like a team that I go, oh boy, look at the Bruins or Penguins. A couple of years, man, they're going to be unbeatable, like I do with Montreal, like I do with Anaheim, like we can talk about San Jose, like we might say about even stretching things to an Ottawa that at least has a bunch of young pieces. I don't want my team to sit in 8th place and 7th place and have 35-year-old best players all the time. Like, I don't get it. It's not for me. Like, that's what the Leafs are doing, man. The Leafs are an average team. They've been an average team for 10 years. They're good in the regular season. They stink in the playoffs. And now they're telling you, we're just going to stay where we are. Well, where you are is you won 2 playoff rounds in 10 years. Who wants to stay where you are? I don't want to be where you are. I'd rather be where Anaheim was and is, right? I want to be Anaheim, man. That team's like, I'm all over Anaheim. They're fantastic and fun to watch. Yeah, they had some pain. Okay, they had some pain, but look at them now. They're going to be good for a decade.
Spec, enjoy the baby. Kate, hopefully you can open it, and we will chat with you tomorrow.
All right, man. See ya.
There you go. It's Mark Speck with the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Speaking of those quackers, the Ducks in Vegas. Vegas wins game 1. Ducks outshot them 34-22. And really, I thought kind of got hosed on that. That should have been an icing call. It wasn't icing. Play keeps going. Vegas scores. Sometimes you got to take advantage of the breaks, and Vegas definitely took advantage of the breaks. So update you on that, and Josh Doan 1-0 Sabres. Go Swords. It's the Sports 1440 Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
New at Papa John's, the spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Build stamina and relieve fatigue with new Roots Herbals Energy, a well-balanced formula with D-ribose, astragalus, and ginseng. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5 plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Big jobs, tight spaces, serious reliability. Emerald Equipment is now your local Yanmar dealer. Compact truck loaders, mini excavators, wheel loaders, tough, reliable machines built for any job. JapaMachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Man, it's a great atmosphere. At least it looks like it is in Buffalo tonight. Whew. They waited a long time for this, man. They're making the most of it. That series, both buildings are going to be rocking, Buffalo and Montreal. And if you were a fan, pretty close travel, not far from Buffalo to Montreal. Now, the tickets, you go online, look at the ticket prices to get into either building. Ridiculous. Now, I know that that's secondary market, but still pretty expensive for second round. But it's two markets that haven't been in the playoffs in a long time. And they're hockey markets, and the price tag is pretty steep. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time to go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. They've got 4 divisions in project, service, testing, residential, and commercial solar divisions in their projects. They have high design build, switchgear replacements, new construction, and renovations at actionelectrical.net. And tonight, game 2 between the Ducks and the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas wins game 1 of the Pacific Division Final. Ken Bolke from Sin Bin Sports in Vegas joins us. And Ken, I think it's fair to say that Vegas got a break. That to me looked like it was icing. It wasn't called off. But guess what? You got it. When you get a break, you got to take advantage of it. And they took advantage of it.
That's right. It was icing. I don't think there's any debate. I've heard a lot of debate. I don't understand any of it. It's clearly icing.
Yeah.
Puck goes from before the red line. It's very clearly who gets to it first. It's icing. Now, Golden Knights, really good job. Like, I think Pavel Dorofeev hopped on that puck and thought, hey, I don't think they called icing. I think everyone thinks it probably is. I should probably just drive the net and score a goal here. Makes a good pass. Barbashev puts it in. They did exactly what they needed to do. But the concept that wasn't icing or that the Ducks didn't get screwed there, that's just wrong. Like, it was. Good on the Golden Knights for taking advantage. It's also 1-1 at that point. Like, Anaheim could have very well been up by a bunch more. They weren't. They weren't. So the Golden Knights win the game.
Barbashev was very quick to point out after the game we didn't play well enough. So Vegas was like, hey, we got away with one. And a lot of times, sometimes if you give away a game where Anaheim is a better team and lose, that can come back to haunt you, man. Like the Oilers, they'll probably still have nightmares from game one against in 2024. They were the better team. They didn't win the game, and they ended up losing in 7. So that's advantage Vegas. What adjustments do you think Vegas makes tonight?
I think they're going to try to gum up the neutral zone a little bit more. I think it was a little bit open at the beginning, and they also have to be. And this one, I don't know that they're actually going to make the adjustment. I need to see it because we've seen a lot of it this season where they just were a little arrogant on the puck. They brought the puck into the offensive zone and just believed that good things were going to happen instead of playing the simple way, get it in behind them, try to disorganize them with the long game as opposed to trying to come in and make that pass or dance a guy or whatever. And there was a lot of stick checks and then reloading forwards, taking the puck away and now bringing it the other way quickly. I think that's probably the two things. One, when the Ducks have it, their structure has to be a lot better through the neutral zone. Because if you keep giving up chances like that off the rush, and they didn't have a ton that actually got to the goalie, but they're coming. You give up the speed to that team, they're coming. And be smarter. Just be smarter with the puck management in the offensive zone. And I think if they do those two things, it should be a closer game. I'm everyone in Vegas has said, and we're talking Tortorella, all the players, everybody who watches the game and is well aware of what went on, agrees Anaheim was the better team in that game. We need to figure out in this series, is that because Anaheim forced that on Vegas, or is that because Vegas didn't play a particularly good game? I don't have the answer to that right now, where I think we're going to get it over the next couple of games here. I don't have it right now. I think it's not crazy to think that Anaheim could play another good game and Vegas can be like, well, wait a minute. Why aren't we playing well? Because the team you're playing against good. Edmonton learned a little bit of that too.
Yeah, Edmonton's injuries definitely impacted them because there's centers, right, for sure. I look at the, hey, Jackson Lacombe is being very good now. He missed an opportunity in that game, and I'm sure he's going to
shoot that.
You got to shoot the puck there.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That's one. Hey, you want to be a passer, but dude, you got to shoot the puck there.
Well, he's just never been there, right? He's just never been in that situation. He watches the spinorama, it's like, whoa, oh my God. And then he has the puck, and it's like, I don't know. This is wild. How did he just do that?
Yeah.
Where I think a forward gets that and it's like, oh, wow, I don't know what just happened. I'll just shoot it. And then it's a goal. Where defenseman, it's not.
Yeah, because that should have been a goal for sure. Anaheim, there's lots of reasons why they could say, guys, we could have won that game. I don't think they feel bad about it. They weren't outclassed. But at the same time, Vegas is like, hey, we won, but we can play way better. How would you evaluate Mitch Marner's playoffs thus far?
Really good the last couple of games. He was excellent in game one. Probably Vegas's best skater. He makes the play that creates the goal, the Howden. Possibly a little bit of interference there that Anderson ran. I don't know. That's a tough one. Playoffs probably get away with it, but it definitely sprung Marner to open that passing lane, and he gets it on the back door to Howden. He was excellent in game 6, a game that kind of the Golden Knights were looking to stomp out the Mammoth, and they did it, and Mitch Marner was a huge part of that as well. He's been real good off the puck defensively. I think some of the play driving stuff's been better the last couple of games. That wasn't really there the first maybe 3 or 4 games of the playoffs, and that's been kind of hit or miss. I think these are 2 really good matchups for him, though. These are not super heavy, super hard-end teams to play. It's not what a Vegas Edmonton series would have been. And I know defensively they're not good, but those teams have been through the wars and know what they're going to give to each other. Utah was kind of in there on house money. Hey, we're here. It's cool. Let's see if we can win our first home game. And they did. And then they're like, all right, that's good. And that's it. Anaheim, we'll see. They're a little bigger. They're a little heavier. They can do more of that. They did not really in game 1 because they didn't have to. They were controlling the play, so they didn't really have to. So when we get farther along, that's when Marner's had more of the criticism in his career is like, hey, after game 4, 5, 6 later in the series. And so far in Vegas, he's been pretty good in those games. He's been one of their better skaters. There's no denying that at all. I think he's been better than both Eichel and Stone in the playoffs this season.
Has Brett Howden been their best forward in the playoffs?
I would take Marner. Just because 3 of the goals that Howden has scored, 2 both shorthanded goals, and then the one that he scored in the last game, they're directly off of Mitch Marner's stick, and he's making the harder play. I know somebody has to go to the goal and actually do it, and finishing the shot in double overtime on shorthanded, way to go, Brett Howden. That's massive. Like, there's no doubt about that. And I don't know what happens. But if you're asking who's the best forward on the team, to me, it's Marner. At least he's been so far in these games. Eichel's had some moments. Stone has had some moments. Consistency-wise, it's been Marner. But Howden's right there, and Barbashev's probably quickly right behind him. He kind of went away a little bit in that series against Utah and then popped back up to start the next series. But, yeah, they've all been pretty good. They don't have a ton of problem children so far. They don't have as many guys as you would think stepping forward. Like, you look at the goal scoring, and it's basically all been Howden, Dorofeev, and that's it. A little bit, everybody else has like 2. So it hasn't been as many of the expected names stepping forward, but all of the guys that you'd be like, well, where's that guy? They're all doing fairly well. And I do think partially that is, look at the 2 teams they're playing. They don't make it impossible on some of the top guys, right? Like, I don't think they make it hard on those guys. So that's where you're getting pretty good play out of just about everybody.
Ken Bolke joins us from Vegas. How's, like, you look at Mark Stone, and I'm because I have super high expectations of him. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been a guy. A lot of times, like Mark Stone from a far away, to me, it's a lot of times he looks like the pulse maker of the team, and maybe it's a good sign. But he hasn't been that guy from my vantage point. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think partially the speed of the 2 teams they're playing is really high. Yeah. And so typically in the more grinded out playoff games, he can be more impactful. I also think, like, he can do more in small spaces when they have longer offensive opportunities. And I just don't think that has been coming in, at least certainly it didn't come in game 1. It wasn't really happening for his line in game 6 of the Utah series, and then the couple of games that they lost. I don't think he's been bad, but I completely agree that it's like the impact player you're expecting, the guy that can take over the game. You think first Jack Eichel, second Mark Stone, and I don't think they've been doing it. And that's where the depth of having Marner behind him, having Barbashev and Howden, and then a lot of the defensemen that are doing the job have made a difference. I don't have a great reason as to why it's not happening, other than saying, like, there has been this problem at different times in playoffs in years past. He has had series where he has not gotten a single point and they've been eliminated. I don't think that's going to happen against Anaheim, but that has happened in the past, and even when he was younger.
Ken Bolke joins us. So, Ken, if you look at it, what was Joe Quenneville like? Was he disappointed because he felt like his team played well, or is he giving you the typical public, hey, you know what? I really liked how we played. We do that again, we're going to win games.
Yeah, I mean, after the game, we pretty much got only icing. Like, that's the only thing that was on anyone's mind after the game, which is perfectly fair. Like, it's a 1-1 game with 6 minutes. They had just scored to tie it. Yeah. They were coming on. Like, I get it. So it was mostly just frustration. Since I think they've kind of stepped back and said, like, look, that's good enough. That game's going to be good enough. There's 7 games in a series. If we play just like that, it's going to be good enough. And I think they're probably right. The question is, can you actually do it?
Yes.
Are you going to be able to actually do it? And like you said at the beginning, this is probably a close series. And if it's a close series, giving away or not taking advantage of a game you were the better team in typically will end up costing you the series. And I think they have to find a way to either make sure that they're better in all of the games, or at least 5 or 6 of the next, 6, or they've got to have one stolen the other way. And I do think Dostal is capable of that, especially against some of the Golden Knights shooters, but it's got to happen until then. It's like, it doesn't, you're just going to look back at game 1 and say, okay, cool. Process was good. Result wasn't. We don't have time for the result to not be any good.
And lastly, Ken, are you confident, like, is Rasmus Anderson, are they just wait until the playoffs are over to announce an extension? Or do you think there's a small sliver that he's not coming?
Yeah, no, I don't even think there's how small of a sliver. It's like, I think that's completely done. I think that there's probably some sort of cap issue for reasons that I don't know. There's something new with LTIR in the offseason that you can't go as far over. So then Pietrangelo has to go on it. That one's done. I don't know the number. I don't know the length. I think he's played himself to a point where when he first came here, the first 15, 20 games, I would have argued I don't think he deserves more than Hannafin and Theodore. Now, I think it's perfectly fair that he's getting more than both. So I think it'd be surprising if it's short of 8. So that's kind of where I expected to come in. But yeah, I would if I would be floored if he's not a Golden Knight for the next at least 5 to 6 years on contract happening this summer. Will they keep him? That's another story.
Ken, great stuff, buddy. Enjoy game 2 tonight. Appreciate your time.
Will do.
There you go. That's Ken Bulkey joining us from Sin Bin Sports in Vegas. So sounds like Anderson's going nowhere. And it is true. The rules have kind of changed in the offices. So Petrangelo's contracts, you got to have to wait. Maybe they announce it a little bit later on. So we'll see how that goes. Quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up. We'll update you in the Sabres and the Maple Leafs, some NBA playoffs, and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions, take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
New at Papa John's. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Say it with me now. Spinach Alfredo sauce, grilled chicken, fresh Roma tomatoes, all on our fresh, never frozen pizza dough. 4 favorites, 1 pizza. So let's run it back. The spinach Alfredo chicken tomato pizza. Right now, a large for just $18.99. Delivery or carry out. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
The tents are up and the deals are out. The Brick's biggest sale of the season is on now. Pick up to 6% off clearance items in the tents. Sofas start at $3.99 and save up to 50% on select mattresses. Get a sofa, coffee table, mattress, bed frame, and dining set, all for less than $1,500. Only at the Brick's tent sale. See you in store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Showman for the games live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3, saving you more money with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Increase resistance to stress and support memory enhancement with new Roots Herbals Ashwagandha. Find it at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Canadian Tire's Big Spring Tire Sale is back. Save up to 25% on quality tire brands including Continental, Michelin, Motomaster, and Pirelli until May 21st. Conditions apply. Details online.
My, this sushi is just exquisite.
And I am obsessed with these crab legs.
You must have spent the whole day in the kitchen preparing this feast for us. Or
Did I?
Entertain with unbelievable ease. The secret is catch of the week.
So you're telling me you were able to buy a ready-to-serve platter that is this fresh?
Catch of the week, Edmonton's best seafood. Just off the Henday in Capilano, only 5 minutes from Sherwood Park. Details and directions online at catchoftheweekedmonton.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes, and they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Period. 2-1 Sabres. Ryan McLeod got the second goal for Montreal, but Nick Suzuki scores late, and Montreal trails 2-1. We got loads and loads of texts. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province of PlayAlberta.ca. So, got some questions coming in. Hey, Gregor, what moves did Colorado make last offseason, because it definitely worked? That from JC. Well, you know what? Last offseason, they really didn't do a ton of moves because they acquired Brent Burns. But last year, they made lots of moves. Both their goaltenders. They brought in Natchez. They brought in Brock Nelson, right? So that's significant. This year, now they did acquire Brett Kulak. Right, traded out the smaller defenseman whose name is escaping me, Sammy Girard. Right, so he went out, and then they added Nazem Kadri and Nicholas Waugh this year. So those are, I'd say, those are two pretty significant moves that they made during the season at the deadline in Kadri and Nicholas Waugh. But lots, like both goalies last year, and remember they lost in the first round. And I know that just because one team did something doesn't mean that the next team is going to do it exactly. But if you look at Edmonton, you could argue that their best strategy might be to say, okay, let's work with Jari. Let's work with Ingram. And let's work with improving our defensive play. Right? Murphy and Dickinson, those are acquisitions during the season. Get those guys. And Doc, that's 5 players who weren't on your opening day roster last year, but were on your team this year. So it will be a different team starting. Now, there'll be another 1 or 2 changes, right? Like I think Ike Howard probably will be on the opening day roster for the Oilers. And there could be another move. There's lots of rumblings that this is going to be the summer of trades. We'll see. People say that. I'm like, yeah, it's like every year at the draft. Oh, this year is going to be the year. It's going to be lots of trades at the draft. And then we go through the draft and there's like nada. Nothing, zilch. So I'm not jumping on the guarantee there's going to be a lot of trades this summer. I could see the potential because there's not a lot of free agents, and so teams that are looking to make moves, then that's where the moves are going to come from. So we'll see where that goes. A few other ones: 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We got lots more Crankshaft, Family Circus, Marmaduke. But here's the one, Connor, and this is a big, big fail. I can't believe that I forgot Archie. That's a fail on my part, major fail. So we had quite a few different texters saying, how do you miss Archie? And you're right. I don't miss it. I honestly, I don't have an answer. I was just bad. It's like brain lock. I'm not sure. Hey, Gregor, NIL or NHL? What's better for Gavin McKenna? Well, he can make more money in the NHL. Like, what was he making? Supposedly $750. Well, the minimum salary in the NHL is higher than that. Not to mention signing bonus. Not to mention, because he's the number 1 overall pick, he will have a bonus-laden contract. Not sure he'll hit all of them, but could get another $250K here, $250K there, potentially. See, so no. From a financial standpoint, it's the NHL. Now, also keep in mind that that Gavin McKenna is a late birthday. All right, he's December, so he will turn 19 during the year. So he was like a Draisaitl, like a Taylor Hall. He's a little bit older. So I'd be surprised if he's going back to Penn State. Wherever drafts him, I think he's going to the NHL. He's a 19-year-old, but I know he's not 19 until December, but it's his 19-year-old year. I would think that's what he's going to land. Hey, Gregor, I'm curious, what do you and Connor think about the Elks this season? Cons, go first.
I'm expecting good things. I mean, I like the offseason that they have. I think bringing Campbell in as an analyst, I think that's going to go a long way. Because, can't have him on the coaching staff, but just having him break down film, looking at the opposition, kind of getting the game plans, that sort of thing is a big deal. Having Fajardo there is the only guy. I think that takes away a little bit of a distraction as well. And I think the defensive unit's going to hopefully improve. I think we saw them trending in the right direction, but, the last offseason, the defensive line just could not get home. So they got to fix that, and that has to change. But I like the direction. I've said it. I think they're a playoff team. Maybe not hosting, but playoff team, and not going out east either.
Yeah, so we'll see. Hey, Greg's, you mentioned it. Are the Oilers serious about playing McDavid and Draisaitl? Or, it's funny, we're actually going to get into that tomorrow on the show. So I know that, something Chris Knobloch thought about last year. And, I still don't love the idea. But I'm always like, okay, let's look at the alternative. What can be good about it? I think there's a few things that are must-haves in order for it to work. So we'll get to that on the show tomorrow. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Here's a Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Cars, trucks, and SUVs. You name it, they got it. 15,000 to choose from. Your color, your make and model, they'll have it. GoAuto.ca. Shop today. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Two games tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs. After 20 minutes, Sabres up on the Canadiens 2-1 in game one of their best of seven. Dylan McLeod the goal for the Sabres, Suzuki for the Canadiens. Later tonight, the Ducks in Vegas trying to even up their series at a game apiece. Puck drop just after 7:30. In case you missed it off, the Ice Canadiens captain Nick Suzuki, Avs forward Brock Nelson, and the Lightning center Anthony Cirelli named the finalists for the Selke Trophy presented annually to the forward who best excels in the defensive aspect of the game. In the association, at the end of the first quarter, Sixers lead the Knicks 33-31. New York lead that series 1-0. Later on tonight, the Spurs trying to even up their series with the Timberwolves. Tip off 7:30. Earlier today, the Jays fell to the Rays 3-0. They'll be off tomorrow. Back in action on Friday, kicking off the series, hosting the Angels right now. Orioles up on the Marlins by a score of 4-3. Athletics to the Phillies 2-1 in the fifth. Tigers at home trail the Red Sox 4-0 midway through the fourth. And the Yankees losing to the Rangers 4-0 in the third. Later tonight, Mets taking on the Rockies, while the Diamondbacks host the Pirates. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it's Fox Sports Radio all night long. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with Kevin Carius here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440.